6:01, good morning. Live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Down Studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Championship Sunday is set. The Patriots back in the AFC Championship for the first time since back in 2018 after beating the Texans 28-16 Sunday in a game that included 8 turnovers. Drake May threw for 179 yards and 3 touchdowns in the win. They'll face the Broncos in Denver, who beat the Bills Saturday 33-30 in overtime, but lost quarterback Bo Nix to a fractured ankle for the remainder of the postseason. Jarrett Stidham will get the start next Sunday. In the NFC Championship, it'll be the Rams versus Seahawks for the third time this season. The Rams beat the Bears Sunday night 20-17 in overtime. Harrison Mevis kicked a 42-yard field goal to win it. Caleb Williams connected with Cole Kmet for the game-tying touchdown with just 18 seconds left in regulation, but the Rams prevail to face the Seahawks in Seattle after beating the 49ers 41-6 on Saturday. And in Titans news, the top 3 candidates have been narrowed down for their head coaching search. Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy, who reportedly had dinner with the Titans brass last night, he has an interview this morning. 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Salah, who had his Zoom interview yesterday canceled, will be in Nashville today for an in-person interview, and Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, who will be in-person interview tomorrow. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go. Kick it off your Monday morning as a brand new week begins on 104.5 The Zone. Welcome in to Ramon and Will with 11-year NFL veteran and Vol Network analyst Ramon Foster. Justin Hawkins at the controls. Myself, Will Bowling. The number is 615-737-1045. The Titans have finalists for their head coaching position, which according to one report may be filled in the next 36 hours. But to us, it feels like 2 names are emerging for the Tennessee Titans. We'll get to that quite a bit this morning. Easton Freeze is the person who reported within 48 hours. That was 12 hours ago. So quick math, that's 36. That the Titans may have the next head coach. We'll talk to him at 7:20. And Ramon, there is lots of football, some to recap and some to preview in the collegiate ranks. Oh, yeah, college football still doesn't have a national champion.
Yeah.
What a concept. Monday, January the 19th, on a frigid morning in Music City. Good morning.
I forgot all about the college world, Will. Like, I've been living in NFL world for like the last, I feel like, 5 days in a row, man. What a weekend it was. This is a cherry on top, man. I legitimately did not have the national championship on my mind whatsoever. After what we experienced this weekend, I felt like it was an out-of-body experience with all the excitement that we had from game one. True. Even the Seahawks game, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
41-6 for Seattle.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
You're a sicko.
I am a sicko, Jayhawk. Yes, when you can beat somebody down like that, yeah, absolutely. And to be quite honest with you, I was not necessarily rooting for Sam Darnold. I kind of wanted to see the Sam Darnold thing through, if you know what I'm saying. Like, let's see what this is all about. And not that I was happy for him, but I always say the NFL is full of redemption. And sometimes it's just not your year, and the Denver Broncos are experiencing that too.
Seattle, L.A. on the NFC side, and Jarrett Stidham and the Denver Broncos against New England on the AFC side, as we all expected. We'll spend a lot of hour one on those divisional round games, the conference championship matchups, which we'll, of course, have a ton of time to preview over the week. But, Ramon, we begin with Titans finalists.
Yeah, we do.
We got 3 of them. Plus another in-person interview that happened over the weekend with Mike McCarthy. But the wording from national folks like Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter say the Titans have a top 3. Matt Nagy this morning. Robert Salah will speak in the afternoon. And Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley is scheduled to talk to the team tomorrow. But he's also supposed to talk in person with Miami today. And many expect him to not leave Miami without being their next head coach.
Yeah, that's pretty wild right there.
That was from Ian Rappaport saying the Titans scheduled an in-person interview with 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Salah today. He tweeted this yesterday saying tomorrow afternoon, he is a serious candidate despite not overlapping with GM Mike Borgonzi. Ramon, what should we read into of the final three guys and the scheduling of Salah, reportedly a dinner that happened last night with Matt Nagy, and Halfley being in the mix, but likely headed to Miami?
I take Halfley out almost. It's just these national media folks. That's the reason I've been screaming from the rafters about Nagy is that, like, I feel like they know where it's going as far as these hires go. Nothing's really been surprising. Even the Stefanski commitment to Atlanta, like, they were on that one too. The way I view this one is, I was told, watch who they bring in last. And Salah seems to have the last conversation.
If Halfley goes to Miami, right.
And the way they said, I wonder who made the decision, or how they came down to the decision. Say, you know what? Nope. Screw the Sunday Zoom. Fly to Nashville. Well, I hate that flight. Okay? Not that I hate that flight. I need to be in a very comfortable seat from Nashville to the West Coast and vice versa. If you tell me to come to listen, Will, it's my dad voice. If you ask me to leave the confines of my home and come see you, if you fly me out, it needs to be a very comfortable seat, and it needs to be a commitment attached to it.
That's a good point. That's a long way to come to not get the job. If you are, if you had a Zoom interview scheduled, then all of a sudden that comes off the schedule and it becomes an in-person interview the next day.
Don't wake me up out of my sleep to ask me for some chips is what this sounds like. Like, legitimately, if it needs to be the house is on fire if you're going to wake me up like this. And I feel like that feels like the situation right now.
So it's interesting because Diana Rossini says on Twitter yesterday, Robert Saleh was expected to do a Zoom with the Titans. But she writes this word for word. The organization collected enough information to move forward with an in-person on Monday. What information do you think, Ramon, they could have collected?
There's a lot of people talking in the NFL just in general. He's one of the last ones to have this conversation, like at the very last part of it. Like, the amount of research that they could have done legitimately is probably just that. Calling people that's associated with him. Like, you could have Mike Borgonzi calling the New York Jets staff, or people that's been around them, or reaching back out to the San Francisco 49ers over this duration. Players that have probably played for him that I'm not sure if they were in that building or not with him. That's probably what it is. They've had a lot of time to think about and ask questions about Robert Saleh before he actually had to Zoom. It probably would have been pointless to have it. I don't want to overread into it, but as I said before, that commitment to flying to Nashville just changes the entire horoscope of what I thought could have happened as going into this hiring search.
Yeah, to me, I think at the least, Ramon, it puts him on the same level as Matt Nagy.
Yes, it does. That's the best way to put it. Yeah,
because the courtship of Matt Nagy is obvious, and the connection between him and Mike Borgonzi is clear enough to where he's always been considered a front runner, and rightfully so. It feels like Robert Saleh has now put himself in that same conversation with Matt Nagy. This is the thing, though, that, Ramon, I learned the most significantly from this. Robert Saleh wants this job. And I think if Robert Saleh is offered it, he's going to take it. That was not always a foregone conclusion for Robert Saleh in any job, which has nothing to do with the Titans, but more to do with Robert Saleh doing an article with ESPN last month, essentially saying, I'm not really desperate to leave San Francisco and be a head coach again.
True.
From what we know last season, for about 24 hours when Liam Cohen said no to the Jags because they had Trent Baalke as their GM, Robert Saleh had become the front runner in Jacksonville. He was also offered an arrangement where he could have been Pete Carroll's defensive coordinator and been head coach in waiting in Vegas, and he said, nah, I'm good. I want to go to San Francisco.
Now, I did see that rumor, too. I forget which national writer or reporter it was, too, that Robert Saleh was actually believed to be the Raiders' next head coach, too. Well, there is a strong conversation of him being in play there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's
this
one
year,
of the teams that's requested it.
Yeah, this year.
The Raiders do not currently have him on their in-person interview schedule.
Okay.
They've got Mike McDaniel on Monday, Jesse Minter and Ejiro Evero on Tuesday, and Jeff Halfley on Wednesday.
Sounds like it's Robert Saleh and Matt Nagy here, man. That is, I didn't see it playing out this quick.
Or Robert Saleh and Matt Nagy.
That's a life that I'd live.
Very much within the realm of possibility, I think, that you get both. And that would likely mean Saleh is your head coach and Matt Nagy is your offensive coordinator because his contract is up in Kansas City. Salah's still got a contract in San Fran, and I think could be a head coach elsewhere too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Both of these guys' names are hot. I think it's kind of hard to say it, but it feels like it's now or never for Nagy. Matt Nagy, though, at this point, when it comes down to his name being as hot this circuit than it ever has been, and considering his contract is running out in Kansas City, I do somewhat look at that situation and say, well, this is just the next stage that I feel like the league is ready for with Matt Nagy, not necessarily his play calling side of it, too. So if he goes back, I think he steps down like a Bobby Slowick almost, in a sense. Like, when your name is hot, you got to go. And nobody's talking about a Bobby Slowick right now, but Matt Nagy to Nashville seems about it, because I don't know how many other teams have Matt Nagy at the top of their list the way I feel like the Titans conversation has been. I don't know per se if the Titans want Matt Nagy to be their head coach, but everybody points and say Nashville is your destination. Another trip around the sun, I don't know if that's necessarily the case for him, because it's a hot and cold type of league with these type of jobs and situations, man.
A lot of comments already in the F and Big chat, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, where you can hop in and make your feelings heard.
And we got a poll. You put a poll up.
I was just about to get to that as well.
Yes.
At Ramon and Will on Twitter, it appears that there are two finalists for the Titans head coach position, assuming that Jeff Hafley becomes the coach of the Miami Dolphins later today. So we've got you the opportunity to make your pick. At Ramon and Will, Robert Salah or Matt Nagy? You can vote there. 84% of you want Robert Salah so far.
Come on.
615-737-1045, live for the 1045 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. We recap the divisional round, starting with a thriller last night in Chicago, coming up next. Kicking off your Monday morning on Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone, and on 104.5 The Zone TV, you can stream us. Infinite and Big Chat open on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, 615-737-1045. How you jump in? So the Los Angeles Rams, Ramon, last night overcame a just total blunder in their secondary. Cole Kmet just, I don't know if he pushed off, if he just said a magic word, playing freeze tag with Kobe Durant or something in the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
An improbable comeback for Chicago this time did not result in a win, as Harrison Mevis nailed a 42-yard field goal to give the Rams a win in a snowy Chicago. What did the Rams do well, Ramon, last night to pick up a win against the Bears?
Stayed in it, let their experience take care of them. Never, golly, I feel like Coach Tomlin talking about it right. They never blinked. They cut the eyelids off.
For that.
The reasons for I know. But legitimately, they believed in their ability to, run the football when they needed to. The defense showed up and got after Caleb from time and time again, and they just legitimately knew and understood, I felt like more than anything, this process of what playoff football was. Caleb making that throw to the corner of the end zone to Cole Kmet, what are you supposed to do right there?
Try to go up and catch the ball.
I think
Kobe Durant.
I know, right? Kobe Durant, the DB. Legitimately, I looked at that situation and said, everybody finds themselves in a that's on me moment, and that was on Kobe Durant, man. Like, I think he saw the ball and realized, oh, crap, the ball sailed over his head. But it's what you called, when it came down to this game, Matthew Stafford was going to be ice cold. Again, I say they leaned on the running game. I was watching how he's picking up the blitzes from the Chicago Bears defense and just that defensive line. It was good, like more than good, Will. Like, they were able to pick up those stunts, man, and give Matthew Stafford time to make plays down the field. It was just efficient football. Their coach, didn't blink when it came down to that game getting tied up. I think everybody in this that was watching the game was beyond shocked at how it unfolded. But that team fought. That's been Chicago's calling card the entire year, is their ability to battle back. And they never once, I think, the Lions gave a moment of that game was going to be over. Jared Verse,
You said Lions.
I said Lions?
Yeah, you did. It's okay.
I need another sip of coffee.
It's early. It's Monday morning.
That's crazy.
We're all shaking off.
All right, we're moving forward. Either way, the Rams never gave a thought that game would be over or they wouldn't win. I was listening a little bit of the post game too afterwards, and one of their defensive backs, I forget who it was. It was number 3. They got the interception.
Cam Curl.
Yeah, that's who it was. Said just in general, they heard all the talking about how banged up and how bad their defensive back was, their group, and said that they just bought into it. It won't be because of us. And I absolutely love that for them, man. It was in these games in the playoffs, like, Will, there's such a difference between the preseason and regular season. You've seen it now. Like, it gets amped up.
Every sport changes a little bit.
And then when you go to the postseason, it's that much more. Like, I saw vets that were, somewhat loose and playing around during the regular season as we're winning. When it became playoffs, they cut it out. And I feel like that's the mindset that the LA Rams were in this past weekend.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Matthew Stafford having a rush plan against pressure was the difference in the game. And the Bears they did. They cover-zeroed him, where everyone who's not covering a wide receiver is blitzing. He understood that they were blitzing, had an outlet route to Puka Nacua, who made Kevin Byard miss, got a first down, and that was it.
And the other part, too, they were capable of making those type of plays. The star showed up for them in moments.
They did. Devontae Adams had a big catch along the sideline. Puka Nacua had that play where he shook Byard. And, again, if you're going to run cover 0 in that moment on 3rd down and 8, you better be confident in your DB's ability to tackle if the ball is completed short of the line to gain.
Yeah.
And we love Kevin Byard in Nashville. He was not able to make a play on, to be fair, one of the best yak wide receivers in the National Football League right now in Puka Nacua.
He's just good at it. Like, he really was, man. What was the 4th down efficiency for them, man? If I could find
for which team?
For the Bears. The Bears went for it numerous times and got stuck.
The Bears
behind.
were 3 for 6.
Yeah.
On 4th down in this game. The Bears offense on 4th down in the playoffs ended 4 for 11 with 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And the fourth one was the iconic throw that Caleb Williams had to Cole Kmet. So that pass was thrown 26 and a half yards behind the line of scrimmage, according to Next Gen Stats. No quarterback since 2016, when Next Gen Stats started tracking these things, had completed a pass from a depth of more than 22 yards.
What a dime.
Caleb Williams completed that pass 26 and a half yards deep in the pocket.
I got to give it up to him. Caleb has most definitely changed, I think, a lot of people's mindset. I think we were in on him soon as far as, like, you got to give this time. The guy's a competitor.
You and I both were, for sure.
It was fascinating watching him still kind of grow up. Now, here's the most fascinating part about what the Chicago Bears have kind of gone through this year. This is as high of a high that you could get. That stadium was rocking pregame. The national anthem was played over the national broadcast because it's a traditional team, like, giving us all to it, and the city deserved that moment. As big of a letdown this was, well, I finished watching that game, and I think I ended up saying it to my wife. I was just like, what's wild about this situation that Chicago Bears are in, it's going to be that much harder to get back to it next year.
Yes. Yep. The same way that Detroit had their head coach in Dan Campbell literally tell his team and the media after a postseason loss, I don't know if we're ever going to be back here again with this group.
It's hard, Will.
It's really hard. You think of the things that have to go right and the comeback you had to have and the fourth down you had to convert against Green Bay just to get there. I mean, a lot of stars have to align just to get to the divisional round, much less the conference championship round.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm with you.
But I enjoyed that ride Chicago zone this year, though.
You don't have to love Caleb Williams, and I get that some of the ways that he carries himself are a bit of an acquired taste. There is no denying his talent. There is no denying that the guy loves football and the guy wants to be on that stage in that moment. Yeah. Caleb Williams is clutch. And Caleb Williams, I got the group text going last night because I texted my buddies, like, Caleb Williams is very good.
Yeah, he is.
And, like, responses like, no, he's overrated. Like, all this, like, I think he's the top half of the league quarterback today. I would consider that very good with the state of quarterbacking in this league and the young generation of guys, himself being a part of it, that I think are starting to take over the National Football League a little bit. And yes, he misses too many easy throws. But my goodness, he can make throws that maybe 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the league could make. Like that throw last night. I saw Trevor Sikkema put this out on Twitter saying the list of quarterbacks that can make that throw right there in that moment is very, very short to like Mahomes, Allen, Caleb Williams. Now, Rhett Bryan correctly responded to that tweet saying Cam Ward also good because Cam Ward did basically make that play multiple times this season. However, the point stands. There are 4 or 5 at most quarterbacks that can make that throw. You got to let Caleb grow up a little bit.
Yeah, he does.
It's still going to take time for him to be his best self in this league. He shows me enough this season to say Caleb Williams is a legitimate franchise quarterback in the NFL today.
I just want to throw one guy under the bus just a little bit.
Okay.
Roman Dunze. You got to catch that one going into the end zone that first drive.
I'd also throw DJ Moore under the bus for the interception in overtime. Running for the love of the game route in overtime of a playoff game.
I know.
There are wide receivers that definitely deserve blame.
Caleb will get more praise if those guys also caught the ball. It was numerous times guys on the sideline, the ball hitting them in their chest, and it's just hitting the ground though too. Like I will say, if matching a quarterback up, there's the biggest thing too going into this Titans hiring situation too. Matching your franchise quarterback up with the right coaches is what Caleb did in Chicago. That has to be thought about, at least of the process with Cam moving forward, because legitimately, I think other than a running and speed side of it, you're looking at the same type, right? And I think Caleb's been curated well this year under Ben Johnson. It's going to be an interesting, process of watching what happened. But again, I thought the run game from the Rams was there ever more than it was for the Bears, and I think that's what's also put them over the edge, especially in overtime.
Rams got back to running the ball late in this game. I thought that ultimately made the difference. Sean McVay called 19 runs in the fourth quarter and overtime.
Situational ball.
They'd only run it 11 times in the first 3 quarters.
Facts.
Especially in a cold weather game like that. Matthew Stafford was not himself, whether that's because of a hand injury that he suffered that he's not being serious enough about whether it is just the cold weather, a mixture of both. He did not look like himself for a second straight game, and I think that's concerning for L.A. going to Seattle.
I'll tell you somebody who can't make all the throws. I think that's what we're transitioning to.
Okay.
C.J. Stroud.
Oh, we can go there next, sure. I'll skip Buffalo for now.
That one I feel like needs like a benediction at the end of it.
Okay.
For either side.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's go C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
Man.
Patriots 28, Texans 16. A combined 8 turnovers committed in this game. Drake May, again, responsible for all 3 of New England's giveaways. Mm-hmm. Again, had 3 fumbles, but only lost 1 of them. I'll tell you what, Drake May's fumble luck is the best thing New England's got going.
Having
right
Will Campbell cover 2 of them is even more wild.
He did make up for it. And Drake May made up for his mistakes. Big-time throws to Kayshon Boutte, Stephon Diggs, who made a spectacular catch in the first half of this game. Travion Henderson running well as well. I thought Drake May, Ramon, made some of the same mistakes that C.J. Stroud made, partly due to luck, partly due to him just being better and more consistent. He made up for them in a more significant way than C.J. Stroud did.
Nah, I separate those two, to be quite honest with you.
Okay.
As far as the box score and TV conversation and our conversation go, yeah, they both played a huge part into why it wasn't a smoother game for their teams. Now, what I'll also say, that Houston Texans defense is bothersome. His fumbles you speak of, other than the one where he was running, doing a little bit too much, that one got knocked out, but that's also defense doing what it's supposed to do. The way that Texans defense was set up and they were blitzing him, they were all over him, and they were just on his rookie left tackle and Will Campbell. After the game, I saw Vrabel trying to hug Will Campbell, the number 4th overall pick. He had no interest in Vrabel because he knew that was a hellish game for himself. Okay, and that's just the price that you pay. I hate to say it this way, but survive. And he survived, and they won. 4 interceptions, though, Will, that's just out of line.
Yeah, to your point, it felt like the Texans defense forced more mistakes.
Forced them, yeah.
From Drake May, and C.J. Stroud was just making mistakes and just giving the ball to in New England. That's probably an oversimplification of it, but the look on C.J. Stroud's face and his body language and the way that his eyes were just kind of swimming.
Yeah.
And even when he was making the right decision, he was very inaccurate with the football.
They couldn't run the ball, and they were depending on him to make plays for him. And he's acting as if this is the regular season. You can just throw the ball up in the air like that, or, hey, this defense isn't good enough, and very precise in how they stay on their P's and Q's, and you're just allowed to just chuck the ball in the air. Sir, absolutely not. That's not how we're going to do it. Now, the built-in excuses that he has, no Nico Collins, no Trent Brown. When did Trent go down? I'm looking at the pregame like, brother, this is your old team.
And then Titus Howard even got hurt at one point.
Titus
in the
got
game
hurt.
Too. Yeah.
Yes, I get it. I got to give it to him as young wide receivers. Jaden Higgins, man, they made plays for him despite the situation that they were faced with. That rookie group going to be all right. I think it's a lot of that rookie class wide receiver group that's going to be here for a long time in the NFL. But watching CJ scramble and go around and not be able to pick up where the blitz is coming from and where to go to with the football, and I get some of those footballs were tipped. But here's the other thing, though, too. This year, and I felt like he had a little bit of it last year when I was covering the sidelines, CJ Stroud ball. I'm not sure how big his hands are, but it floats out of his hand. It goes high often. We brought this up, I feel like last week before this game, previewing it too. He's got to either start working with a glove or figure out what's the clay that they're putting on the football, because his ball sails often. He's going to put one of his wide receivers on the stretcher, man.
10-inch hands. Of the 2023 NFL Combine.
So he got big paws.
He's got pretty big hands for a quarterback.
Why is floating out of his hand? That interception in which he threw towards the end zone, also, you got to put some zip on that ball. If you go back and look at that interception that happened towards going into their end zone where he got undercut, that ball just floated out of his hand. There is a component of you got to put some zip on that when you got a defensive back that's as good as New England's group was playing yesterday.
615-737-1045, our number. Let's go to Richard in Springfield first up this morning.
Morning, Richard.
Our thing is that we have the finalists of the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, but now we have a real announcement that the Tennessee Titans have hired a new head coach and will hire, his name is Robert Salah. And Robert Salah is the new head coach for the Tennessee Titans. And it looks like the Tennessee Titans will hire Robert Salah according to the sources, it looks like to me that Robert Salah has been hired as the head coach to the Tennessee Titans. So now Robert Salah is the new head coach to the Tennessee Titans. So now that Robert Salah will be hired as the Tennessee Titans head coach, looks like the other candidates will be looking at the mirror after Robert Salah will be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. And it looks like to me it's different, but Robert Salah will be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans.
All right. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate the call. Not official yet.
I felt like we needed the Blaine sounder.
Not official yet. We'll see if it gets there.
We let Richard just announce that one, man. I feel like if it does happen, Hawk, we got to cut that and play that.
Yeah, not official yet, meaning that, I mean, obviously,
it could still
very much be Matt Nagy, but we'll see. Looks like it's down to Matt Nagy and Robert Salah.
That's what I'm talking about, Rich. Put your foot on it, then.
Broncos 33, Bills 30. The Broncos win their first playoff game since winning the Super Bowl in 2015. 9-season drought is over. They won their third, cover your ears, overtime playoff game in franchise history and their first since Tebow Mania in 2011 over the Pittsburgh Steelers, a game that you were on the field for.
I pour out a little coffee for that game.
Yeah, that's right. Let's start on the losing side. What is fair criticism this morning of Josh Allen? Did he lose his team this game?
He played a part in it, most definitely. Easily played a part in it. His inability to capitalize on these moments, I think, needs to be studied. The Buffalo Bills voodoo curse that they got on them needs to be studied too. You got no Joe. You got no Lamar.
Joe Burrow.
Lamar Jackson. You got no Patrick Mahomes.
Him, you could just say Pat. Yeah.
Pat. This is very true. Who else am I missing out of this elite class?
Starting with those three, for sure.
Those three, yeah, right there. We'll just stop the buck there, man. Mm-hmm. He gotta figure it out. That sitting on the sideline side of stuff, well, he's also got to be studied the way Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers are as far as his ability to get some wide receivers there. I don't want to call it flagrant because Denver is a really good team. They got a really good squad. But that crying and stuff that they doing at the end of the game, Deion Dawkins trying to put the still shots up.
Joey Bosa throwing his helmet.
Ain't nobody got no time for that. Y'all had every opportunity to make a play in that one. Like the strip sack that Deion Dawkins gave up when he just barely just pitched Benito coming around the edge, I thought was silly. Not good enough. They hit too many stalls in the middle part of the game for them to have won that football game, in my opinion.
Yeah, the fumble at the end of the first half from Josh Allen just can't happen. The interception at the end of the game from Jaquan McMillan is absolutely an interception.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely an interception.
Thank you.
This is the only thing that was surprising about that interception was the fact that it looked at it maybe a little bit longer. But, Ramon, you got to think of it this way, and I know I'm preaching to the choir because you agree with me. If you, as Brandon Cooks, roll over, and when you get up, that ball's on the ground, then it doesn't matter what still shots there were of you with the ball in your hand with the knee down before you do a somersault. Because we all know how this works. You've got to survive the ground. You have to complete the process of the catch. In this case, you didn't let the ball go with the ball and it sat on the ground. It was just in someone else's hands. Those hands belong to Jaquan McMillan. Nice to meet him. He's the corner that's covering you. It's pretty simple.
It was.
It is an interception. It's the right call. It's not a catch. Buffalo has maybe legitimate gripes on some of the penalties. I thought, if anything, Ramon, the bigger issue was it might have been pass interference on Jaquan McMillan for going up for it. That you have a better case for than to say it was a catch for Brandon Cook. So I thought let his quarterback down multiple times in the last minute and a half of this football game.
He made your bad boys list, didn't he, in that game, man?
Yes, because I picked Buffalo plus 1.5 on our Thursday 3 last week.
And legitimately, like, that was a DPI at the end of the game also.
On Trey White?
On Trey White.
100% it was.
It was. Yeah. The excuses that you have should have been played out in regulations, the way I look at that one. Like, and well, the other part, too, if you look at the visual, the actual video of that interception towards the end of the game, that ball is bouncing in the breadbasket of Cooks. It was, and the DB snatched it. And then they were complaining about the Buffalo Bills catch against the Patriots earlier this season. Like, that was a battle of the ball going to the ground, and the way it works is the tie break goes to the offense.
But there was no tie to break.
But there was no tie.
Because the defense won the play.
He gave it up. If you want to talk about catch, no catch, let's go back to Jesse James in 2018. I got a gripe about that one still. So, like, you got to survive the ground. That is a part of it, too. And play through the doggone battle at the end of it. Like, that's asinine to me that they're legitimately looking at that and said, no, this was a catch. No, it was not.
Josh Allen deserves a lot of blame because of the player that he is, the amount of money that he makes. I don't want to pocket watch, but, like, let's just be honest. Like, you make that much of your salary cap, you've got to be the guy. I did think he played well enough in the second half to make up for his mistakes. I think it's a team loss. I don't think this is the same as Texans and C.J. Stroud and the bad throws that he made. The big mistake that Josh Allen made, though, was missing an open Dawson Knox to win the game. And Matt Prater's field goal still sent it to overtime. You had a chance to win it right there. So, yeah, I think you can be sympathetic for Josh Allen and understand that he needs a lot more help for them to be a legitimate team. The fact that you can go 11 drives and either score or turn it over on every single drive. They did not punt, Ramon, in this game. Crazy. He did his job, but he also had a lot to do to atone for mistakes he made early in the game. 615-737-1045. Seahawks and 49ers. The last game we've got to recap, plus more of your phone calls next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Good people, it's that time of year when nobody likes dealing with any of those issues. That's your plumbing, that's your electrical, and especially the HVAC, man. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost or if it'll get fixed right, or if somebody's just trying to sell you something you do not need. When you call Hiller, the experts are going to solve your problems quickly. And here's the thing, too. I'm not sure if you guys have been watching the weather as of late, but I think this weekend we're supposed to get a good bit of snow and a lot of just cold weather on top of it. So this may be the time to reach out to Hiller and make sure they can come over and service your HVAC, man, to make sure that heat is working properly and efficiently as you need it to. They're just good at what they do. They've been in business for over 35 years and are family owned and operated. And the cool part is the people that you'll deal with, that's their techs. They're super professional, experienced, and trustworthy, man. And when they come to your house, here's the thing about it. You'll receive a text to your phone and a picture of that tech coming to your house, so you're not sitting around wasting time. The motto is, and they truly live by it, happy you'll be or the service is free. If you're not satisfied with the work, they'll do whatever they can to make it right or just simply give you your money back. Listen, the book with Hiller the way I do. Simply go to their website at happyhiller.com.
Ramona will wrap it up hour one on this Monday morning edition on Twitter at Ramon and Will, where we have asked you to make your pick between Matt Nagy or Robert Salah. 83% of you say Robert Salah. Steven writes in and says, I would take Chuck E. Cheese at this point to coach, but I would go with Salah. Charles Entertainment Cheese as head coach of the Tennessee Titans in this economy, Ramon?
Sir Chuck. I mean, he's trying to save a business at this point. I'm sure he's going to be expensive. I mean, this guy's got locations all across America.
Coach Cheese, well connected is what
is that what E stands for?
Entertainment?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm day years old.
Charles Entertainment Cheese is Chuck E. Cheese's government name.
Man, you learn something new every day.
Look at his parents named him when he was just a
potential
young
dad
mouse.
back here learning kid stuff, all right?
That's right. You'll spend a lot of time at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes, you will.
In your very near future.
Get ready to waste some monies, okay?
Sometimes I still spend time at Chuck E. Cheese. It's just
wrong
Do
with
you
that.
now?
No, I don't.
The pizza is decent if you're going with your kids for a birthday party, okay? Just enough to say, yeah, my money was worth it.
Am I allowed to get on the playground?
I mean,
I don't know if I would
fit?
describe Chuck E. Cheese as a playground.
listen.
I think it's more of an arcade.
If you are walking your kid
They used to
around
have
that
like a
building, let's just stay inside for a little while, okay? If you're walking your kid around that building and you want to indulge in the games through your child and you the one facilitating the money,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Facilitating the money, make it sound like a drug deal.
In that place, it is. Will like that's money laundering, that's stealing, that's everything. What do what do those gifts cost?
Hey, look away. You got 50 tickets? I want the big bear. You got 50 tickets for me? Hey, just put it down and walk away.
Listen.
Put it in the paper bag and walk away.
My kid wants the big mouse, okay? Can I give you 20 for that?
Not that I've been a part of a drug deal. I don't even know. I just assume from movies.
I'll take 3 drugs.
I did buy, yeah.
Teaching real life things. Teach them young.
I'll have an alcohol, please. Oh, I'm sorry, what? You don't sell? Okay. Listen, if you've ever gone to Soho in New York and gotten Fay-Bans, you feel like you've done well. So
What?
That's about as close as I can get.
The fake Ray-Bans.
Oh yeah, no. Have you ever done that in Soho in New York?
Oh my gosh, yes, I have.
We did a high school trip there, and I felt like I was breaking the law. I felt like I was running for the lamb. You walk out there like $20. Okay. Can you do 10? Follow me. Wayfarers? Yeah. You got Wayfarers? Yeah, I got Wayfarers. All right, you're going to walk over there. You're going to meet the guy with the red hat. You're going to put the money down. You're going to take it. Like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm buying sunglasses.
Technically.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's counterfeiting.
That's about as cool as I got in high school.
Absolutely.
That was funny.
I took an 8th grade trip there once, and I got it was actually, we were in D.C. I got a fake watch out of there. I was so hyped. I've always been a watch guy.
A Folex.
Folex, most definitely. That thing broke apart within like 2 weeks.
Fay-Bans, Folexes, and Folkleys.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. All the F words.
Well,
football and the F words.
How about another one? 49ers. I think their fans were saying a lot of F words.
You're on your stuff today.
Yeah, when am I not, Ramon?
That's what I'm saying.
49ers 6. Seahawks 41. What could go wrong, Ramon did in this game.
Yes, it did.
My goodness. The opening kickoff from Raheed Shaheed. The Seahawks have now not allowed a Niners touchdown in 8 straight quarters. Seattle generated 3 turnovers and 3 turnovers on downs. What is Mike McDonald doing that Kyle Shanahan and his offense for San Francisco can't figure out?
Attacking. There's no other way around it. I think the way Mike McDonald look at Brock Purdy, he looks at him as if he don't deserve to be here, the way he attacks him. Like he goes at Brock Purdy in that offense. And we mentioned this too. Seattle at this point matches the physicality that the 49ers want to play with. 49ers play bully ball often, Will. They legitimately will try to bully you. And the way he's crafted that defense, his offense efficiency, and the other part too, I just got to add to it, Seattle sneakily got playmakers at the edge position, at the running back position, and they got one of the best young wide receiver. Like, we say, what are they doing? The other part beside the scheme, the coach, and the mindset, that team got a lot of names. They traded for Rashid Shaheed during the season, and look what the opening play of the game, a kickoff return. That's one of the best balanced teams I feel like we've seen in a while. We were just waiting to see what Sam Darnold was going to do.
And he didn't screw it up. At this point, Ramon, that defense is so good that Sam Darnold doesn't need to be Superman in order for them to win. He just needs to get it from point A to point B. That point B is typically Jackson Smith and Jigba, and let his defense work. Really the same thing that C.J. Stroud had done all season before he turned into a pumpkin during the playoffs.
Yes, it did. And also the other part, too, they did a real good job of being able to pivot from Jackson Smith and Jigba in in the passing game also. Cooper Kupp absolutely was good when you needed him to be. The tight ends played a role in it, too. And just, again, when you look at the way they were asked to run the football, there was no issue whatsoever. And when the way they were able to get to Brock Purdy and affect him, they made him look like Mr. Irrelevant, I felt like, this past weekend. And ever since.
It's a little bit of an indictment on him that when you get such a separated score so quickly into the game, you can really make Brock Purdy uncomfortable.
Yeah, you can.
And without George Kittle there to be the safety blanket for him, it just felt like he had no answer to their pressure.
None.
That was the biggest issue. Again, it's a team that is asking their quarterback to do a lot and not giving them the pass catchers to ultimately succeed when it's all said and done. It feels like we settled that a lot about a lot of different quarterbacks this weekend.
It was legitimately one of the better games, and I enjoyed even the blowout that it was because it was fun watching them actually do work. That defensive line never gave up.
There was hate in their hearts.
It was. You see them doing the belt to behind celebration on the Seahawks sideline. It was just over the top. And you know what? When you beat a rival like this and embarrass him the way you did, you deserve to do that to him.
615-737-1045 is our number as hour 2 begins. Easton Freeze is going to join us at 7:20. He is reporting that the Titans have their timeline to pick their next head coach, which means it's most likely coming down to 2 candidates. Little update on one candidate they were meeting with last night that we'll tell you about coming up next.
7 o'clock, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Championship Sunday is set. The Patriots back in the AFC Championship for the first time since 2018 after beating the Texans Sunday 28-16. In a game that included 8 turnovers. Drake May threw for 179 yards and 3 touchdowns in the win. They'll face the Broncos in Denver, who beat the Bills Saturday 33-30 in overtime, but they lost quarterback Bo Nix in the process to a fractured ankle in overtime. Jarrett Stidham will now get the start next Sunday. In the NFC Championship, it'll be the Rams versus the Seahawks for the third time this year. The Rams beat the Bears Sunday night 20-17 in overtime. Harrison Mevis kicked a 42-yard field goal to win it. Caleb Williams connected with tight end Cole Kmet for the game-tying touchdown with just 18 seconds left. But the Rams prevail in overtime. Now will face the Seahawks in Seattle after they beat the 49ers this past Saturday 41-6. And in Titans news, they have 3 of their top candidates narrowed down for their head coaching search. Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy, he reportedly had dinner with Titans brass last night, also has an in-person interview this morning. 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Salah had his Zoom interview canceled yesterday. He'll be in Nashville today for an in-person interview. And Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, he will have an in-person interview tomorrow in Nashville. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Seven a.m. in hour number 2, getting started on Ramon and Will. He is the 11-year NFL vet, Ramon Foster. Justin Hawkins makes the show happen. I'm Will Bowling. Easton Freeze stopping by in 20 minutes to take us through the latest as the Titans narrow down their coaching search to 3 finalists. Former Chicago Bears head coach and Chiefs OC Matt Nagy, former Jets head coach and 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Salah, and current Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator and favorite for Miami Dolphins job, Jeff Hafley. Last night, Easton reported, Ramon, that Matt Nagy was getting dinner with Titans leadership at a steakhouse in Nashville last night. What should we think about Nagy getting a little extra face time with Titans decision makers? Does this matter? Again, we don't know who the decision makers were. We just know what that report was, that he was getting dinner with Titans leadership.
They really wanted to sell him. They should have brought him to the best steakhouse in the Nashville area. It's my house.
Okay. Foster's.
Exactly.
Fire up the grill.
I'm talking about J-Hog. I'm talking about great steak.
You've heard Foster's, Australian for beer. This is Foster's, Nashville for steakhouse.
I know they don't have the bourbon list that I got in my crib at this restaurant, wherever they took them to, okay?
I can confirm that.
What I'm getting at is this, man. That's good for Nagy. Getting an opportunity to sit down, see the city, be in a position to where they can just have more than football conversations, too. I feel like in his process, it's kind of been laid out a little bit longer, a little bit more stretched out. When you go on dates, when I was dating and young, sometimes you want to get the date and just be like, cut it off because I'm going to say something stupid or somebody's going to say something that really tick me off. Like, you get an opportunity for as long as it say they went with these dinners to see if you really like the person. See if what you thought they were as a human being is somebody that you want to be your head coach. I'm not sure how long Robert Salah is going to get with them in the building, if they're going to drive around a little bit, because I ain't going to say it's a disadvantage. I think if Robert Salah does come in town today or last night, whenever he showed up, and he's ready to give his spiel, he could really steal the room. Kind of steal momentum for whatever they were thinking about Matt Nagy's situation. So it may have been it could be too long of a date that Nagy and the Titans had just by kind of lingering on the way it has right now. And also, Mike Reganzi knows him well enough already, too. So how much more can you speak of if it isn't about schematics? Like, they really got an opportunity to know the person on this one.
It's hard for me to really know what this meeting means without A, knowing the leadership that was there specifically, or B, knowing what they were really talking about, right? Was this an extension of the interview? Was this people that may have worked together in Kansas City just catching up and talking about their personal lives? Are they trying to talk him into maybe being Robert Saleh's offensive coordinator? Is this fact-finding? I just don't know. There's too many unknowns. I do think it's interesting. I'm not sure if it's important or not, based off of the headline and what we know what really happened.
That's real. I just want to know where they went. We ain't got no cooks. I feel like I tip y'all well enough when I go to these establishments. Somebody should have called us by now. If they went to Bourbon Steak or wherever. We know people at these places, Will. We need more intel.
It does feel like the search is coming to an end.
You okay with the two? Like, it's a yin or yang situation, I feel like. I see in our YouTube right now, Mike, who calls us off, they're planning a protest at the facility. They don't care about none of that, Mike. Like, if somebody shows up with anti-Nagy signs, they'll be the same ones in the stadium. If he gets this team to 3-1 the first quarter of the season, be elated to have him as their head coach.
We also have people in the F and Bank chat on YouTube where you can talk directly with us. Say, I need that steak. I heard it's legendary. You taking reservations?
I can. I mean, I got to invite y'all over. My steaks are elite. I will say that. Anytime I ain't going to disparage these steakhouses around here like that. I like going to them. Yeah, but my steak is actually pretty good. I don't even dry age them.
So, Easton Freeze writes at AZSports.com.
So bougie. God, I don't even dry age them. Who the hell am I today?
Easton Freeze writes, I expect the Titans to make a hire in the next 48 hours, perhaps even before the day is out on Monday. Jeff Hafley is scheduled to interview here tomorrow, according to multiple reports. Those same reporters saying that are also saying, hey, keep an eye out on Jeff Hafley and the Miami Dolphins with his former assistant GM and now new GM in Miami, John Eric Sullivan, who is in charge there. Question is, Robert Saleh or Matt Nagy? Take your pick, Ramon.
Me right now?
Yeah, why not?
Nagy.
Really?
Yeah. I just think the long-term hiring of him, I think, can settle. I look at him, I feel like, to be quite honest with you, he may have better connections with who he wants to hire, the pool, because of how long he's been in the league and how he's kind of going around. Like, that, to me, I think is playing a bigger part into the situation than anything. Is Robert Saleh going to want to call the defense, too? Because here's the thing. There's a real good guy that's already still in that building under contract at Denard Wilson that did well with that defense.
Yeah, there's more than one good guy for it, though.
I kind of want to see a facilitator of this team. And, the Jets situation is kind of what it was with Robert Saleh. Like, I feel about them the same way I feel about Cleveland. Like, if you battle and do almost anything with them, then it's fine. Here's the issue that we got.
He was 20 and 36 there, for those who are unfamiliar.
And that's the other part of it, too. He left there with a losing record. At least what you can say about Matt Nagy, he left with an above 500 opportunity, right?
He was so good in year one.
So I saw Titans account yesterday. It wasn't even a blog. It was somebody tweeting about it. It's like they're setting Cam up. Well, there was an article coming out about the discrepancies of how Matt Nagy handled the Chicago Bears locker room and how he was out on Mitch Trubisky. Well, here's the thing. That also happens with Zach Wilson and with New York, too. Like, they pretty much trumped him for Aaron Rodgers and pretty much sent him to the Wolves. Like, there's a lot of flaws that each one of these coaches have that are becoming the two finalists for this team here. Like, the same issues that you have with Matt Nagy, well, you also need to have with Robert Saleh.
Yeah, we got a tweet saying, like, haven't both these coaches failed? Well, is there a coach out there that hasn't?
That's why they're on the market right now.
Right. Even the ones, Ramon, who aren't on the market. You think Kyle Shanahan hasn't failed?
I mean,
you think Sean McVay hasn't failed? It's a Super Bowl winning head coach. Like, of course they've all failed. Of course they have. It's the devil you do or the devil you don't know.
So is.
Would you rather have someone who's done the job before, who you feel like raises the floor because they understand how to be a head coach, even if it didn't work? Or are you going to take a risk on a coordinator who hasn't been a head coach before, might not have no idea how to lead an entire organization?
What I do know this. I know in watching Matt Nagy's career that he had in Chicago, when he had a real good defensive coordinator, his team was good, right? Robert Saleh had hardly any good with a potential Hall of Fame quarterback the entire time, with a quarterback that fully dismissed him as a head coach. Like, the interactions that Saleh and Aaron Rodgers had. Now, I know Aaron Rodgers has his issues, but you don't get players dismissing you the way that he did with the Jets. That's just a fascinating approach to the job. Players would sniff out whatever he or Matt Nagy selling if it's not good. And that's just kind of where I'm sitting at. Like, it is to be presented with these two guys with flaws for a team that won't have any breathing room, Will, for time on the job and trying to let somebody grow. The fan anxiety is real. I get it. But I go back to where we had this conversation about 4 months ago, when they had the realignment of the front office. If you believe in what Mike Borgonzi's selling you and the alignment that the Titans have from top to bottom now, you got to start asking yourself this question as a fan of this team. Do you trust what Borgonzi's got going on? And why does he like Matt Nagy or Robert Salah? Or is this just a Band-Aid to get to the next coach and GM 2 years from now? Because I still think there are going to be some growing pains. And I feel like the way Matt Nagy's gone about his retread and learning and mentorship that he's had under Andy Reid, there's just been a year gap between Robert Salah. What has he learned? Who are his connections? What will he choose to do with this team? I don't know what his plan was because, hell, we ain't even really see a plan with the Jets.
George Kittle said, I think his understanding of offensive players and just kind of what we go through has opened up his understanding of being a football coach. It's one thing that George Kittle says he's learned.
And he got belted behind
Saturday.
Yeah.
41-6. I mean, Mike Vrabel was the defensive coordinator of the 32nd ranked defense of the NFL before he came here as head coach.
Well, there's really no rhyme or reason how we go about this then, is it?
I mean, this year, Robert Salah signed up for a defense that had lost Dre Greenlaw, Charvarius Ward, and Talanoa Hufanga before the season. Then he lost Joey Bosa and Fred Warner. Lost Michael Williams, his first-round rookie on the D-line for a spell. Yetur Gross-Matos was another edge rusher that went down. Malik Mustafa had a knee injury. Yet they were still good enough, despite also being 31st in pressure rate the regular season, going to Philadelphia and winning a playoff game and setting themselves up to be one of the last 4 teams standing in the NFC. I think he did a terrific job with that young defense that was already supposed to be young and then got a whole lot younger when a lot of their veterans who were the holdovers got hurt. And I think Robert Salah, from everything I've heard about him and read about him, is the kind of culture builder the Titans could benefit from.
Sound like Denard Wilson with a better offense.
Well, it's Denard Wilson who's been a head coach before. Denard Wilson's never been a head coach.
That's very true.
He's got 3+ years of coaching experience that I think aged pretty well in New York because the second he left that defense,
it got bad.
It got really bad with a lot of the same players.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phones. Kendall's in Nashville. Hey, Kendall.
Morning, Kendall.
Kendall, go ahead.
Kendall, do you have us on mute?
Kendall has unfortunately lost his opportunity. Easton Freeze joins us coming up next. What should we read into about a dinner with Matt Nagy that Easton reported and a process that kind of changed on the fly? Robert Salah was supposed to meet yesterday on Zoom. Now he's going to be here this afternoon meeting in person. What does it all mean? Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports joins us next. In January, we all resolve to clean, right? Maybe it's our minds. Maybe it's just taking care of ourselves better at the beginning of the new year. What about your home? Yeah, shouldn't you give that the same attention? Well, if you want to, then you need to get Zero Res out there to take care of it. Guys, I'm telling you, Zero Res is the best of the best because they have a different kind of clean. They've got ZR water. And the cleaning agents from ZR Water are much healthier than using soaps and detergents. When I have things cleaned up, I want it to stay that way. Well, Zero Res has a smarter and lasting clean because there are no harsh chemicals. There's no soap residue. You get faster dry times, and everything is going to stay cleaner longer. This is the resolution you got to follow through on this month. Book online at ZeroResNashville.com. That's ZeroRez Nashville.com. You can call them at 615-535-9376. And while you're online, check out the website. Check out their Google reviews, their Facebook reviews. They've got thousands more reviews than their nearest competition. 615-535-9376. That's Zero Res. Spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean. And don't forget to ask about their air duct cleaning. Lee Company believes in total transparency. That's why they send before and after photos and videos of the work they do so you know exactly what's going on. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Whether it's your home's heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical systems, Lee Company has got the experience that you need to take care of whatever is not working around your home. Trusted since 1944. Lee Company's award-winning team is committed to finding innovative and custom solutions specific to you and to your home's needs. You can contact Lee Company online at leecompany.com to learn more. You get those before and after photos. You get videos of the work they do. When Lee Company is in your home, you know exactly your home's heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical systems. Get over 80 years of experience on your side by heading online to leecompany.com. That's Lee Company, all you need. Ramona Will at 104.5 The Zone, hour 2 on this Monday morning. He's Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling, joined by our good friend Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports, who says the Titans are potentially making a hire within the next 48 hours. Easton, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Will, Ramon, fellas.
Morning.
Busy day today.
Yes.
Heads are on swivels. What should we take away, Easton, from the Titans getting dinner with Matt Nagy, as you reported last night?
Oh, it's a huge deal, or maybe it's no deal. I don't know. It could be something. It could not. They got dinner with Mike McCarthy on Friday night, and he's not an official finalist, even though they gave him the whole wine and dine experience as well. I think it's a part of the finalist process oftentimes, but the fact that he's getting dinner, and maybe Robert Saleh's dinner's tonight. I don't know. I think the two of them are the 50-50 coin flip today, and one dinner is an advantage Matt Nagy, I suppose.
Easton, you tweeted last night as well, or yesterday as well, potentially Matt Nagy and Robert Saleh. Could this be a Mike Vrabel, Matt LaFleur situation unfolding in front of our very eyes? And with Matt Nagy's lack of contract in Kansas City, Easton, is it fair to assume that is also on the table at this point for Matt Nagy, as maybe Titans fans are who are out on this hire look to that possibly as a lifeline today?
Yeah, I mean, it is technically possible, and I feel pretty strongly about Matt Nagy being a play-calling offensive coordinator somewhere this year at the very least. That seems to be the next step for him. He intentionally set this up this way so that he can move on and take the next step in his career one way or another from being under Andy Reid in Kansas City. And so I do think that if whoever the head coach is somebody that would be open to or needing an offensive coordinator like Mike Vrabel did back in the day, I think that is absolutely a possibility. Now, if Robert Saleh is the head coach, we've talked the past couple of weeks about how strong his connections are, how it seems like he has a Rolodex that would be able to put together a staff pretty well. And so he's not one of the candidates that I think is more likely to be wanting for an offensive coordinator. But you never know who can get out of their contracts and who's available and who gets hired elsewhere. So I'd keep an eye on Matt Nagy no matter whether he's made the head coach today or not.
Joined by Easton Freeze this morning. Easton, when you look at this conversation surrounding Matt Nagy, Robert Saleh, and I guess those are the two finalists, why is there such a divide on Matt Nagy as a candidate here in Nashville, Tennessee?
Man, that's a great question. I feel like an anthropologist trying to get to the bottom of the human condition on this one in this moment of time, because I don't fully understand it. But I also feel it like very early on in this process when they fire Brian Callahan in October, and I'm doing my first look around the league at who could possibly be a connection here. And of course, Matt Nagy is one of the guys that comes up. That was the taste in my mouth as well, from a casual standpoint. And then, you do a little digging into refreshing yourself on how things went in Chicago and what he's been up to since. And on paper, it doesn't really make any sense for him to be as hated and reviled as he is. I do think there's a pretty strong groupthink thing going on. I think there's a pretty strong Chicago Bears fans were very loud about him when he was in Chicago, and they're screaming kind of maybe poison to the well for everybody around the league. I think that Kansas City Chiefs fans, who don't have a whole lot to grumble about lately, have pointed to Nagy for some reason as a big problem, and they're excited for him to be gone. Now, I don't really know why that is. It feels like kind of a Nick Holt situation where he's just getting blamed even though no one really knows what he does in that offense. So I don't get it. I think it's pretty foolish. I think one of maybe the silliest thing that we as fans get ourselves twisted up in the NFL calendar every year is the head coaching cycle, because I think very, very few head coach candidates are worth getting really excited over or being completely out on and hating. And I think we are way too extreme about it because we don't really know these guys. When you talk to coaches and players and executives in the league about this process, they openly laugh at some of the things that we as fans point to as reasons to love or to hate guys. we kind of just don't know what we're talking about on a lot of this stuff, to be 100% honest with you. And so I think that our opinions should largely range from bullish to lukewarm. And I think it's perfectly fair to be lukewarm and have a lot of questions about a Matt Nagy, of course. But could we maybe get to know him first if he's the head coach? Could we see him do anything as the coach of the team if he's the coach before we decide to hate him? Here's my other thing, and I know I'm going long here. I've seen a lot of people in anticipation of this potential decision talk about how, well, they believed in Mike Borgonzi, but they're not going to believe in him anymore if Matt Nagy is the choice. And not to get into semantics, that's not how belief works. That just means that you liked Mike Borgonzi, which is fine. Maybe you just liked Mike Borgonzi. But if you think that you actually believed in Mike Borgonzi, belief has a faith element to it. And losing your belief in somebody based on a decision and not the results of that decision, it means you didn't believe in them in the first place. So if you have any level of belief in Mike Borgonzi, for him to make what is clearly a very heavy decision, because he and the Titans are painfully aware of the ramifications of making such a hire, I don't know. I think it might be worth hearing him out a little bit.
Joined by Easton Freeze this morning. Vegas, no doubt about it. Easton, I did a little digging too around this, and maybe I should save it for Will and I's home segment, but he wasn't the play caller in any of these years for Kansas City. He's a facilitator of the offense, and the people I spoke with around that organization were of the mindset that as far as CEO, leader, head coach type, like he was by far the best leader they had on offense, as bad as Kansas City has been, and just kind of reiterated, Easton, that he's not the play caller. And I think that's super significant when we're looking at the decision between Robert Salah and also Matt Nagy when it comes to what you're going to be asking these coaches to do. So, Easton, I'll ask you, what's going to be the task, in your opinion, of these head coaches coming into which either one that they choose to hire? How do you view one versus the other, Easton?
Right, and you're right about him not being the play caller, except for one 5-game stretch in 2017. By the way, this is something that came to my attention yesterday, in which the Chiefs went 4-1 over that stretch, and in terms of their metrics and efficiency, they got better. Which it's 5 games, who cares? But if you want to point to one thing, there's something to point to. Mm-hmm. So he's made it explicitly clear, right? If he becomes a head coach, he's not going to call the plays this time. He's going to find a talented offensive coordinator and lean on that guy. He's also talked at length in some of these rehabilitation tour interviews that he's done in the past month about how delegation wasn't a strength of his in Chicago, and that's something that he's worked hard to change. And it's not a trust issue so much as it is just leaning on your people and I guess enabling them to do their jobs well too. And so I think that you'll see an emphasis on that if he's a head coach here. I think that his focus will be on the CEO responsibilities, on the culture setting, the tone setting, the therapist role that a head coach really is kind of at the top of a head coach's list of duties, in my opinion, is to kind of be the team therapist and keep everybody rolling in the same direction and peaking at the right time and all of that. And so everything that I've heard, it sounds like the things that you've heard are in line with what I've heard on him being a strong personality when it comes to those things, and being somebody that can galvanize a room, that can relate to his guys. I heard at one point in this process from, I believe, an anonymous player talking about how, he's had 1,000 coaches in the NFL and he's loved a bunch of them, but the only coach that he'd ever invite to his retirement party is Matt Nagy. So if that's that's just one guy anonymously, but if that's the kind of person that you're getting in terms of relatability to your players, then that's a positive thing, right?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Absolutely. Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports with us. Easton, I know there are the two names that we've discussed already in Robert Saleh and Matt Nagy. Then there's Jeff Hafley's role within all of this. And he's going to meet with Miami today, according to many reports. And the same people that were saying, hey, they're going to make a strong push for Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta, John Harbaugh in New York, are kind of saying the same things about him in Miami. How surprised would you be to see Jeff Hafley get an interview here tomorrow? Do you think the Titans would be willing to wait on Saleh or Nagy and making a decision there if Hafley does make it out of Miami today?
I'd be floored. I'd be shocked. I think there's no shot he gets out of Miami. I think that we saw Miami they've set up they win the award for the most shameless Rooney Rule compliance process of the cycle, which happens at least once a year and always rubs me the wrong way. Just completely using a couple of minority candidates this morning for interviews in Miami so that they cannot let Halfley leave before the day is out, which is, that's don't hate the player, hate the game, I guess. That's the rule. Right. That's what it pushes teams to do. And it's really frustrating, but it is what it is. So I think that there's just no shot. And I think that the timing of these interviews is important. I think it's going to be technically the third consecutive Titans target that they're intentionally being jumped by by another team. And so if by some stroke of luck he gets out of Miami because of some weird dispute, or they decide that they just hate him for some reason, I think that they'd probably wait to interview him tomorrow morning just because it is so close. The thing that I don't know is if Nagy is their target at the end of today, then I don't know if there's so much of a rush, because I'm not sure you're worried about Nagy being scooped up elsewhere at this moment. With Salah, you probably are. And so, if Salah's the guy, maybe not. I really think it just depends on which of those two that they're leaning towards by the end of today.
You said, I know, like me, you have been on the Robert Salah train for a while, and you wrote that great article about him earlier while the season was still going on about, hey, there's quotes from offensive players, young players, talking about how much of a culture builder he is. There's the ESPN piece a month ago of him saying, like, I'm not really desperate to be a head coach again. There's a lot you got to shoulder as a head coach, and talking about the word strain that he has really embedded within those defensive players' vocabulary in San Francisco. All of the green flags and good things are over here on this side. What are the things you would need to have him answer in the interview process? What are still the red or maybe yellow flags for you, Easton, on Robert Salah's resume? Because you put him next to Nagy, it feels like Titans fans, at least in our poll this morning, like 80% of them prefer him. What are still the drawbacks to Robert Salah for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. The two big things that come to mind for me are, I would want to get to the bottom of his role in what went on behind the scenes in New York. We know about the success of the defense while he was there. We know about the on-field play. We know generally about the personnel situation with the quarterbacks and who he was working with and all of these things. But as is the case with pretty much any head coach failure, a lot comes out in the aftermath, and you hear whispers and rumors of things and anonymously sourced reporting on how, this guy wasn't doing his job very well, and this guy was actually kind of hated in the building and all of that. And while a lot of that I've gone back and dug through seems to not point to Salah, because there was so much chaos going on, it was a lot of Woody Johnson, the owner up there, being a crazy person. He's not abdicated of all responsibility in a lot of that aftermath. And so I'd want to know what exactly went on there and what maybe he feels his failing was in all of that. The other question, an obvious one, but I'd be curious based on the first time that he did this, is what kind of staff he'd be wanting to put together. I know that he's been working to put together hypothetical staffs for a handful of different landing spots behind the scenes. And so he has a pretty good idea, I believe, already of who he would bring with him if he's hired by the Titans today. We saw in New York what that looked like, and I wouldn't say it was a bad staff, but I don't know if it's the most exciting staff of all time. Would it be very similar to that? Does he have better, stronger connections now? Has he changed his mind about who he prefers now? I'm not going to sit here and litigate on the radio all of the different possibilities, but I'd be curious to see how similar his staff would look like to what it was in New York.
Easton, the question I have for you too, man, is where this team is. You don't have any, John Harbaugh coming into town. What does this team need? Is it actually more from the coach that you're going to hire, or more from the front office and who they choose to bring in?
I'm glad you asked me this, because this is a hill that I have planted my flag on and feel very strongly about. I'm tired of this head coaching cycle, because we haven't talked about a player in 2 weeks, the guys that win and lose the football games.
Right.
And coaches matter, obviously, more in the NFL than any other major American sport. It's a tremendous part of your team, and having a great one can be truly transcendent, and having a terrible one can hamstring you. But on the whole, unless you have a truly great or a truly terrible coach, your players win and lose the games. It really is the Jimmies and Joes over the X's and O's. And I know that because I've been around the league long enough to talk to everybody on and off the record. And both on and off the record, executives tell you it's the players, coaches tell you it's the players, and the players tell you it's the players. So it's the players, and this team needs more of them. And so I tweeted at the beginning of this process, like, I'm looking forward to getting a head coach in here so that Mike Borgonzi and his crew can get back to what is the most important priority for them this offseason, which is getting more players on this team and getting more help for Cam Ward. And so whoever this head coach is that we may find out in the next 12 hours about, he's going to need more dudes, a lot more dudes than were on the roster this past year. And luckily, the Titans have a lot of resources to go and spend and get some dudes. And I'm looking forward to who they identify and how they fit into this thing. But that's what's most important to me.
Easton, when you look at this, the hiring that happened with the Giants, right? The big fish was Harbaugh. With everything that he's getting, do you think the Titans would have been in a position with the stadium being built and how they come out of pocket also to give him $20 million a year? An insane amount of money for the analytical side of the front office, the training room changing, just locker room facilities. Would they have been in a position, Easton, to give all of that?
Yeah, I find this angle kind of petty.
Lot.
It is a lot, but I think that a lot of the people pushing that they couldn't have done this is kind of like a petty, silly, haha, let's laugh at Amy kind of thing. Oh. Because did they have enough money in their bank account to do it? Of course. She's a billionaire. Let's not be ridiculous. They could have done it, and I also don't think that they were planning on flying all the way to Baltimore just to lowball Harbaugh. They knew that he was getting $17 million a year on his contract that he was getting paid to do nothing for at the moment. They knew that the Giants were prepared to offer him $18, $19, $20 million. They weren't going to fly to Baltimore and be like, John, we'll give you 14. So they were going to give him the money. I don't know about the rest of the process and the staff and the analytics and all the other investment areas, but I mean, this is a team that has put forward close to $100 million on individual players the past couple of off seasons, and I think the whole Amy is cheap angle is one of the worst angles to attack her on. Like, if you really want to dislike Amy Adams Strunk, there are avenues for you to do that. Amy being cheap is not really one of them to me.
Easton, on the way out, is there a front runner at this point? It's been Nagy since day one. The fact that Robert Salah is kind of skipping to the end maybe leads him to being the favorite. Do you feel like there's a leader in the clubhouse as we sit here this morning between those two?
Well, I'd really like to be able to say that I was right from the start with it being Salah. I'd love to take that victory lap and point back to October and how he was my initial pick. And my honest opinion right now is that it is more likely to be Nagy at the end of today than it is to be Salah. I don't think it's this foregone thing, so whatever you want percentage you want to put on it, like, 60-40, 75-25, whatever. I think Salah has a real chance. They're not flying him all the way here from San Francisco just to not actually consider him. And I do think that the PR of Nagy might be the thing that is hanging over all of this. I really don't think it's ridiculous to say that they are so acutely aware of what the reaction would be that there's listen, speaking of Amy Adams Strunk, there's a chance she just says, can't do it, won't do it.
Sure.
Hire Nagy instead. And if she does, then that's what you're doing, brother. Like, that's what's happening. So maybe that's the thing that pushes it over the edge. But also, again, no one on this search committee, to my knowledge, at least in an official capacity, has met with Robert Salah or has a working history with him. So they may just fall in love with the guy today when they meet with him for the first time. They clearly loved what they saw on paper because they wanted to skip the initial process and just have him in for a finalist interview and really, it seems, be the only guy that they're considering for a finalist job besides Nagy. So they feel good about him to make him second place at least. So we'll see. I'm leaning Nagy, but I don't think it's foregone.
Easton Freeze has been our guest at Easton Freeze, where you get him on Twitter. Today could be the day. A2Zsports.com helping us out. Easton, thank you as always. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, Easton.
Thank you, fellas.
All right. Easton Freeze with us here this morning. Still saying Nagy likely the favorite, but I agree with him. And it's obvious they wouldn't have Salah all the way out here in person and have him skip the final round if there was not serious interest in Robert Salah. We'll get back to this more in hour 3. There is a ton to get to and maybe a ton of developing headlines on this as well as the morning goes today too. But when we come back, Ramon, Tennessee and Vanderbilt went over on the hardwood, both of them in big-time games at home, and I'm losing faith in Tennessee basketball. We'll talk about it coming up next. I don't know about you, but when I think about moving, I just feel anxiety, stress. You can know that a move is 6 months to a year away. It could still be looming ahead of you. Well, when you are moving and you're looking for that next spot, that new home, you need a team that's going to take away the stress. You need Bernie Gallerani. Bernie Gallerani guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. Yeah, there's no risk to you. It takes the stress out of the process. Bernie will also let you out of the contract at any time. He is the real estate agent with the 30-day guarantee to sell your home. So if you're ready to sell your home, start by knowing its true value. Head online to BernieGallerani.com. Check out Bernie Gallerani's new home value estimator. It's fast, it's free, it's easy. It's at the top of the homepage. Just click on how much is your home really worth. Bernie Gallerani is the only real estate agent in Nashville recommended by Barbara Corcoran of Shark Tank. Here's his phone number, 615-428-2644. Have a conversation with him. See how he can help you within this process. You can also Google Bernie Gallerani Real Estate or head online to BernieGallerani.com. That's 615-428-2644, BernieGallerani.com. Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%, lowest in years. Hey, it's Will Bolnick. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck at a 6% loan, you could lower your payment big time. Or you can keep your primary mortgage intact to get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards and some car loans and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now and see what option works best for you, but don't miss the big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous Rapid Equity Loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks, and you may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. Call 615-499-5780 now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up the first half of the show. Back to the Titans and NFL headlines at 8 o'clock. Ramon, Tennessee blew it on Saturday against Kentucky. No way around it. Tennessee and Vanderbilt losing within an hour of each other. We'll start with the Vols, who had a win stolen from them by Kentucky. 80-78, down 17 points just days after coming back from down 18 in a win at LSU. Kentucky in the first half turned it over 8 times and had 0 offensive rebounds. In the second half, 13 offensive rebounds, and Tennessee only forced 1 turnover. Kentucky shot 50% from the field, 6 of 10 for the three-point line. Denzel Aberdeen killed him on the pick and rolls.
Sure did.
This was not Tennessee basketball in the second half against Kentucky.
Was not. The turnovers bit them. I was listening to Mike Keefe and Chris Lofton on the call too, and CeeLo said it before. He was like, Tennessee's only got 1 turnover. And lo and behold, the friggin' waves just came. The turnovers came in waves at that point, man. Just bad ball at this point. Not enough consistency when you're asking them to play good basketball, to have that big of a lead and let Kentucky just get to the rim. Not really contesting shots the way you needed them to. Just not a good look at all for the Vols, man. I know Kentucky shot over 40% from the three-point strike, but, where's the defense? Who's going to consistently take over for that squad, man? I was that one right there, that was a twist and turn of the dagger right there. There's 3 straight that the Vols have dropped to Kentucky in the last year. At home. Yes, at home. I know they knocked them out of the tournament and everything else, but you can't continue to live like this if you're trying to be one of those premier teams.
There's something about Kentucky's offense that Tennessee defensively just can't really consistently figure out. And it took Kentucky missing a lot of threes in that NCAA tournament game, and Tennessee rebounding those misses to really overcome what has been kind of an offense they can't figure out. Like Rick Barnes said a lot of the same things after this game Saturday that he was saying after the 2 regular season losses last year. We just got breakdowns.
Yeah.
We just got breakdowns against the pick and roll. It's not rocket science, guys.
It's not.
It really isn't.
It's that part of it, okay, why are y'all glitching right now? And, for as big of a lead that they had, and, of course, the way they let Kentucky close out the first half, also by getting on the board late.
After Jacoby Gillespie's second foul.
Yeah. And here's the other thing, too. Aberdeen on the bench. For the first half, most of the first half, too, with those 2 fouls that he ended up picking up. Everything was set up for you. That, to me, it's the mentality of this team more than the talent.
It is. They don't have the normal Tennessee basketball mentality.
No.
Toughness and rebounding underneath.
There's no – and here's the thing. You got to give Kentucky credit
100%.
for going into the lion's den like that.
Mark Pope was as good as fired. If they go in there and lose this game by 30 points.
That's what I'm talking about.
And it was trending that way heavily in the first half.
Absolutely. Under 500 in SEC play right now. And I know the SEC is treacherous. I keep thinking to myself, at some point this Vols team is going to turn it on. Or here's the thing. They'll
win.
Florida
is right now.
Exactly. They'll win a big game and then they'll drop one like this. It's just there's no consistency. They're going to mess around and be like an 11th seed going into the doggone tournament. I'm not sure. I'm probably exaggerating this is
that's
hard.
On the table.
It's hard to watch right now.
Your next 2 games are at Alabama and at Georgia, and then you get Auburn at home.
And here's the thing. They're attempting every method they can. Okay, Jalen Carey starts the game. They're trying to go into the paint with him. Can't get it the way you want it to as often as you need to, and then you go outside. There's been so many different attempts to kind of jumpstart this team to figure out which part is going to work.
The problem in this game is that Nate Ament wasn't the problem.
Last 2.
Nate Ament is playing a lot better. Last 3 games. I'll give him the Florida performance as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
3 games in a row now. For a full week, Nate Ament has looked like the guy you signed as a 5-star out of high school, and it hasn't translated to the scoreboard. That's a problem. That's a big problem. And I think Rick Barnes said it perfectly the other night. The freshman class has kind of delivered. Amari Evans looks like a player. Dwayne Brown had made some really good plays in this game. Troy Henderson is unafraid to shoot, which Tennessee always needs in the style that they play on defense. Nate Ament is playing better. Amari Abram? JP Estrella?
Where is he?
Felix Okpara? Ethan Berg? Is anyone going to step up who's not a freshman? Because right now, the only guys taking ownership of the way Tennessee basketball is supposed to play are the guys who just started playing Tennessee basketball and just started playing college basketball. That's a problem.
For as wild as Cade Phillips can be, JP Estrella needs him, it seems like, at this point, because he needs a buddy out there because he goes missing. Like, I feel like we have to go at him.
It's really
exactly
odd.
Like, and
the way he started the season.
I don't know what's personally going on with him. But
whatever it is, it needs to get fixed.
Quickly.
I'm losing faith that this team is going to ever really figure it out and meet their ceiling. It'd be the team that beat Houston. To me, they are more the team that lost to Kansas, who had no business losing that game, and lost this game. Like, their inconsistency defines them.
Yeah, it does.
Rick Barnes said it after the game. Right now, we are who we are. They are running out of time to just magically flip a switch and be the team that they could be. I'm starting to think they're just going to be a team that is not going to have a very long stay in March because they cannot play 40 minutes of consistent basketball against teams on their level.
You put it on the players on this one.
Put it on everybody.
Like,
I mean, it's on Rick too, and the way he built this roster. They're so light at the 2 spot, and they're relying on Ethan Berg, Troy Henderson, a true freshman, Amari Abram, Bishop Boswell, to really step up in a spot where they just don't have a lot of proven production.
No, it's not. It's sad watching because one of the most talented teams in the offseason I think that Rick's ever built.
Yeah.
And here we are. Savage said, don't leave Gillespie out also. He's just been 100%. Just as bad as good.
Jacoby Gillespie saved Tennessee in that first half, and Jacoby Gillespie's been the guy. I get it. But as a senior point guard, you cannot throw that ball away in that moment to Colin Chandler and just totally telegraph a pass. It just can't happen.
That was the most just idiotic thing I think. Like, whatever happened to an old school two-hand chest pass? What are you doing in that moment? It was predictable to watch it.
It's on all of them, yeah. Slay says disagree on it about Rick. That's fair. Slay knows a lot more.
You just, I feel.
I'm just saying. I think the blame. There's enough blame to go around on the way this team has performed this season. But ultimately, I think it's on the guys that transferred in and have been there to meet the level the freshmen are playing at right now.
Bro.
Real quick as well, since we mentioned it, Florida over Vanderbilt in Nashville. We knew Florida was going to bring a front line that Vandy had not seen yet this year. Mm-hmm. Credit to Vandy for making it as close as it was, considering how much they got beat up on the glass. Mm-hmm. Because honestly, they asked their guards to do a lot in this game. 98-94. Would have loved to have seen what this game looks like if Duke Miles doesn't foul out when he does. But at the same time, this is Florida, Ramon, I think, before our very eyes, becoming the team that we expected them to be all season. And right now, they're the best team in the SEC.
No doubt about it. It's the challenges also that Ron said that Vandy was going to have is at front court, too. Just looking at just total box score situation. 13 offensive rebounds for Florida versus 6 for Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying? Like, looking at that, the ratio of 40 rebounds to 26, the opportunities that, like, that's those tall trees in the paint right there that's giving our guys second opportunities. But what I will say is watching that game, Memorial Gym was rocking. Everything that Vanderbilt needed to win that I was about to say football game. That basketball game was there and present for them. Guard play was solid for them also. It's just that they got some tall trees, and you got to absolutely know how to handle what Florida's bringing to you every single time. And the thing about them also is their bigs can actually go score. Chinyelu, as Ron brought up last week, Savage brought up last week, that little hook shot thing that he got going on from inside the free throw line, He's a problem right now.
No, this game had 2 of the most improved players in the SEC this year between Ruben Chinyelu for Florida and Tyler Tanner for Vanderbilt.
Yes.
For sure.
A lot of credit to Tyler Tanner.
All Florida on the glass in this game totally outdid Vandy within that context as I look for the number. There were 17 lead changes in this game, 14 ties. Vandy only had 3 turnovers until the final minute when A.K. Okerike's turnover made the difference, but Florida out-rebounded Vandy 40-26, 13-6 on offense, outscoring them 22-8 in second chance points. That's all it took. 615-737-1045 is our number. We'll get to more NFL reaction. We'll get to the latest of the Titans search as it narrows down to 2 candidates. We'll talk about it next.
In today's AI world, you can't even trust your own eyes anymore. I know I have to ask myself, is this real? Where's the community note behind it? All right, but we got to ask that. Is it real? Well, you know what is real? Your health and what the experts at Synergex and Low T Center can do to change your life. If you've been suffering from the symptoms of low testosterone, such as constant tiredness, lack of focus, or just feeling off, at Synergex and Low T Center, you can meet with real providers, not a chat bot on a website. You can get real medication, never compounded testosterone or hormones. You get real pricing. Not a surprise when your bill comes from a website. You also get real results because Synergex and Low T Center are the experts offering superior medication, service, and support, and they've been doing this for over a decade, and that's real. No AI here, all right? So guys and ladies, man, get real about your health this year with Synergex and Low T Center. For a limited time, the men's TRT test is free. Yes, free $99, and the women's hormone test, which is normally $299, is now just $99. And the weight loss consultation to start off the new year, absolutely free. You can walk in or book an appointment at getmyhealthfix.com. Again, the website is getmyhealthfix.com. And make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
8:03, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Championship Sunday is set. The Patriots are back in the AFC Championship for the first time since 2018 after beating the Texans Sunday 28-16 in a game that included 8 turnovers. They will face the Broncos in Denver, who will be without quarterback Bo Nix to a fractured ankle that he suffered in their Saturday overtime win over the Bills. Backup quarterback Jarrett Stidham will get the start next Sunday. In the NFC Championship, it's the Rams versus Seahawks, the trilogy. The Rams beat the Bears Sunday night 20-17 in overtime. Caleb Williams connected with Cole Kmet for the game-tying touchdown with just 18 seconds left in regulation, but the Rams prevailed to face the Seahawks in Seattle, who beat the 49ers 41-6 on Saturday. In Titans news, their head coaching search is down to 3 names. Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy, he will interview this morning. 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Salah will be in Nashville today for an in-person interview as well. And Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley will interview in person tomorrow, but is a front-runner in Miami, and he interviews with them today. And tonight, the College Football Playoff National Championship is at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami as the Miami Hurricanes take on the Indiana Hoosiers. Kickoff at 6:30 p.m. Central on ESPN with Indiana, the 8.5-point favorite. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go to the second half of your Monday morning on Ramon and Will. Glad you decided to make us a part of your morning routine. And who knows, by the next time we talk to you tomorrow morning, maybe the Titans have a new head coach. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see them make a move today, just based off of the reports, based off of what Easton Freeze told us earlier this morning, that we got more time for you to react to. 615-737-1045. The national championship games tonight. Let's talk about that in hour 4. And college football, which has just dropped the natty in the middle of a bunch of NFL football. Very unintelligently.
This is what the NFL does. Like, you couldn't ask for a better weekend of football. Like, it made me forget about the national championship.
Yeah, me too.
It did. I've enjoyed every game, even the blowout with Seattle versus the 49ers. I thought that was good. I think the storyline surrounding Josh Allen is elite. Just based upon what his expectations were going into this offseason. And I also think this too. It just brings more eyes and ears to a conversation when you start talking about building a team and having a strong team. Seattle, to me, a lot of talent. We're just overshadowing that because, okay, we think Coach McDonald is just it. Like, no, they got a lot of talent over there. New England, same conversation. Like, It really does boil down to roster makeup and having a culture set is what I'm getting out of this too.
We need to normalize criticizing every other position on the football field, Ramon, that's not quarterback when non-quarterbacks make big mistakes in playoff games. Right?
Yes,
you agree?
Absolutely.
Simple question for you. What in the world is DJ Moore doing on Caleb Williams' overtime interception to Cam Curl last night?
Packing it up.
So, if you missed it last night, Caleb Williams threw 3 picks. In the words of former Titans head coach Brian Callahan, every interception has a story. Not always on the quarterback, even though it's a quarterback stat. I thought DJ Moore was egregious in the effort that he put in on this play. And, Ramon, I just want to understand what in the world happened. Why is DJ Moore jogging and not looking back at the football in overtime of a playoff game when his team is one catch away from being in field goal range for Cairo Santos to send them to the NFC Championship game?
I don't want to say not believing in the quarterback because I know he does. I just think he didn't believe in that play, that it would last that longer, that Caleb would come to him. Because for him to be jogging across the field right there, only time I'm jogging is for offensive linemen, my perspective. All right, we're setting up a draw play. I'm going to likely lose here so that you can go and, the defender can go past me and the running back goes past him. Like, it may not have been a play designed for him to get all the way across the field right there. So he decided to just, put a stroll in part or thinking, we don't pay you to think, we pay you to do. That's that situation. Like, he probably thought Caleb was going to throw the football away. No, Caleb's mindset, and I think anybody that's playing Caleb Williams' mindset, quarterback of the Chicago Bears, moving forward, anybody that's playing with him, the ball's never done. Like, the play's never dead until you hear a whistle. And I feel like at that point right there, his wide receivers were done with the play. DJ Moore was done. And that's not how you play that game. That, to me, also just signified, again, the importance, Will, of having a team that's very veteran in their approach to what the playoffs are, and a coach and teammates that understand it. I don't think DJ Moore's conditioned for what they just went through this past year, considering what last year was like. Again, look at how you had the Rams playing. Think about how they closed out that game. Like, the attention to detail is always there for teams that understand it. And I don't think the Chicago Bears understand it this year.
I thought it was a fatal error from DJ Moore, not running across the face of the safety Cam Curl, who was reading Caleb Williams the whole way, and running into coverage, running into a spot that was occupied and taken. He's running a for the love of the game route.
Yes, he was.
That's what we call that. The kind of route that opens up someone else, that occupies a defender. That way the primary target can get open. It was Rome Odunze running down the middle of the field. And to me, Ramon, from what I saw, with the middle of the field closed, Rome Odunze wasn't going to be open on that play.
He wasn't.
Caleb Williams rightly goes to his second option. DJ Moore is jogging and not looking back to the football. Is that more on Caleb Williams and, hey, I shouldn't throw that ball to someone who's a secondary target, or is that more on DJ Moore for not being ready for the football to come his way?
Caleb has to take some responsibility, too, because here's the other side of it, too. You had Curl, their defensive back, safety, said, they were disrespected as far as their ability to cover the entire week. I think it's on Caleb, too, by thinking his wide receiver is going to just be, better than that secondary in that moment, for just expecting DJ Moore to make a play, and he didn't. So there's some blame to be put on him onto why would you throw it if you saw your guy was out leveraged. But the other part of that you bring up is we've seen DJ Moore hit that burst of speed to go get those footballs, and his expectation of making that play at wide receiver one didn't show up in that moment. Like, to say he packed it up, I'd love to know where his mindset was, but that, to me, is the difference in talent versus being a mental giant. Like, I thought the way that game was played and ultimately how it was won was the Rams, Los Angeles Rams, were mental giants in how they approached closing that game out. It ain't talent. Caleb Williams was probably talented, the most talented quarterback out there. Like, as much as I hated listening to Chris Collins, or God, I didn't realize I hated it so much.
Oh, okay.
I'm fussing at the TV because, like, shut up, Collinsworth. Like, but what I'm saying is this: Caleb's ability to be the best athlete on the field showed time and time again. The expectation, I think, going into the second year under Ben Johnson, third year for Caleb moving forward, is his wide receiver group got to realize no play is ever dead with him. And I think he showed that. And I don't know if his teammates will have the mindset with him other than Cole Kmet.
I think one thing that Caleb needs to do a little bit more next season is use his legs a little bit more, because when he did yesterday, he kept the play alive and he got the first down. And he showed that in overtime. He showed that in the regulation. And he showed it all season in the fourth quarter. It's just not on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Let's go to Eric in Nashville, 615-737-1045. What's up, Eric?
Morning, Eric.
Hey, guys, I just wanted to talk about the Titans coach search and then the playoff games. First of all, guys, I mean, I wouldn't be upset if we do wind up getting Nagy, but if it came down between him and Salah, I definitely would take Salah, because I thought he had good defense with the Jets. When he got fired, the defense got dramatically worse, and I thought he got scapegoated for a lot of the whole stuff of the Aaron Rodgers stuff and everything. But it's just going to be interesting if it is him, if it's Salah, who he would have as offense coordinator and everything. But I kind of would take him over Nagy. Nothing against Nagy. I mean, like I said, if Nagy gets hired, I would accept it, but we'll see what happens. But as far as the playoff games, guys, Saturday, you got to feel for Josh Allen and the Buffalo. I do. It's just bad. And everybody talks about that play, the interception. My point is, if you don't make the turnovers in the first place early in the game, maybe it doesn't come down to that. So he definitely contributed. It's going to be interesting to see the whole thing with Sean McDermott, because there are a lot of people now calling for his firing, then getting as many chances they have and just coming up short now that Josh Allen's turn is 30, but we'll see what happens. As far as Seattle and San Francisco, I kind of fell asleep, unfortunately, during that game. You kind of felt bad for San Francisco. They were so undermanned in that game and you really felt bad for them, but played about as well as they could. And it's going to be interesting to see how far Seattle goes. If they get to the Super Bowl, what Minnesota was thinking. That's what I'm thinking. If he is able to take this team to the Super Bowl, and he doesn't really have to do a lot for them. As far as the games, guys, on Sunday, I definitely would have considered maybe taking C.J. Stroud out. He just played terrible. Guys, it's just – and you feel bad for him. They fired their, I guess, offensive coordinator, but now it's like, what do you do now going forward next year? And but the Bears game, just an incredible game. I only saw the second half because I was at church for members meeting Sunday night, but what a wild second half. And just incredible play, guys. Two things I had a comment and a question about that game. First of all, guys, I tell you what, hopefully the Bears can get back, but a lot of people are comparing them like you just don't know you get the chance because you had all those magical plays by Caleb, those 7 fourth-quarter comebacks. The defense, even though they weren't great, they made a lot of great got turnovers and everything, but hopefully you can carry it on next year because a lot of people compared it to Washington last year.
For sure.
Washington got to the NFC Championship game, and then they fell apart. I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen to the Bears, but you think that Detroit and Green Bay aren't going anywhere, so you just see what happens. And, guys, the last thing I'll get off, I'm hearing a lot of discussion that people said the Bears should have went for 2 on that play. I don't know if I would have. I would have probably kicked the extra point and took my chance because they still had a shot to win the game. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that because a lot of people said with the momentum they should have went for 2. Guys, y'all take care. We'll talk to you
too, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Man,
Thank you, Eric.
Big E.
There's a lot to react to there.
Big E, I'm changing your nickname. You ain't Eric no more, man. You Lover Boy. Okay? Like, I ain't Eric. This is very much me being sarcastic, so don't take it personal. I can't believe you up here, as bad as your team has been, you feeling sorry for C.J. Stroud, Josh Allen.
Yeah, you're not feeling sorry for anybody, are you?
Man, hell no. No, Eric. Man, you got to redeem yourself from that one, man. As bad as your team been, I feel like O-Dog and like Menace to Society. With what they did to your cousin, man, we finna ride on Eric. Absolutely not, dog. Josh Allen got to own this. He ain't got Josh. He ain't got Joe Burrow, no Lamar, no Pat. Okay? You talking about the 49ers being undermanned and feeling sorry for them. No, you put your foot on their neck, Eric. That's what you do in these moments. You would do the same thing to the Houston Texans is what I'm telling you. You do the same thing to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't give a damn about who hurt for them and how embarrassed they are, too. Who's this other point that he had to make right there, too? C.J. Stroud. It was
49ers.
The best. 49? What? Hell no. Aaliyah, I'm sorry, my niece. I'll pay the cuss fine, okay? But I'm telling you on that one, Eric, man, I ain't know you was such a lover boy in these type of moments right here, man. I expected more from you in these situations when it come down to hate. I'm all for everybody loving everybody, Eric. But when it comes down to sports, man, you supposed to hate them, man. Man, Josh Allen getting a pass? Absolutely not. C.J. Stroud feeling so... Brother! Absolute, man. See, this is. I can't do this. This is Eric. Been watching too much participation trophies going on out here. I can't handle you being like this, Big E, man. Like, it was so many other words I wanted to say about that, and I respect you way too much, Big E, to just let you just end the call like that. Ain't no way. I'm in here turning. I might go turn a cartwheel right now. I ain't did one of them since I was like 8 years old. I can't believe that.
You can do a cartwheel?
I used to.
That's the real headline of this.
My arms might collapse now, man. Ain't no way, man. Go outside, nerd. Yes. When you got an opportunity to put somebody in the corner, see, this is what I mean sometimes with like spectators of the game. Like when you're down, we'll look this size 14 going to the crust of their neck, and you, yes. That's the sound. I want to hear them gasping. I want muffled screamers out there. The 49ers were muffled screamers. The Texans, muffled screamers. In the way Chicago, who cares if they don't go back? That's a them problem. Eric, you got bigger problems in Nashville, Tennessee, and it starts with Nagy and Salah. I can't believe this.
He apologized.
Please don't call in if you're going to feel bad for any of the teams that lost this weekend.
Nobody.
But we will take your
Run
calls.
Up, get done up. I feel like O-Dog right now. You acting like Kane right now.
615-737-1045. Comparing the two finalists, we think, for the Titans head coaching position coming up.
Be more like O-Dog. think I'm going to bring it back down, okay? I think I'm going to bring it back down. All right, here we go. Man. Listen, medical house calls is necessary, okay? On days like this, when you got to bring your blood pressure down, check your vitals, man, I'm here to tell you, your time is precious. So is your health, all right? And medical house calls, man, that's the website, medicalhousecalls.com. If you need one and just service brought to your house, man. They can also offer primary care to you that's personalized to you. They got plans that fit your primary care needs and different price points. Also, you can find out what works for best for you, from unlimited house calls to 24/7 telehealth, priority IV therapy, annual physicals. Men, ladies, get your stuff together. Go get yourself checked out. And Medical House Calls is making it easy for you just because they will come to where you are and what you need and how you're going to go about this, man. Everything from IV therapy to just a simple exam. They could do it for you. For a flat fee, you can get an evaluation, full exam, treatment plan, and prescriptions if you need them, okay? Website again, medicalhousecalls.com. I think I'll be using them real soon, man. They're available to you 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Or you can call them at 615-838-2375.
Ramona Will continues on 104.5 The Zone with breaking NFL news, and this is a jaw dropper. There is a 10th head coach opening, Ramon Foster, in the National Football League. According to multiple reports, the Buffalo Bills are firing Sean McDermott. How about this? McDermott is fired after 9 seasons. He went 98-50 as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills with double-digit winning seasons. Every season since 2019, he went 8-8 in the postseason, only had 1 losing season in his 9 years in charge, and is now fired in Buffalo. What's your initial reaction to this?
Yes, is my response to this. Absolutely call him. I know, Robert, you were in town today, but Sean just got let go. We gotta entertain him at this point. He will be, as a winning coach, a commodity. He's another William and Mary, not JMU, William and Mary candidate that's on the market right now. Him and Coach Tomlin, former teammates at this point too. I'm interested to see what a team thinks of him as a coach in this situation. Because here's the other thing too, if I can be transparent about how I feel about this. I think it's hard for him to do his job with the lack of resources that he's had there, with them not getting wide receivers. I know Stephon Diggs was there. The problems that they had to ship him off. Cool. To me, Keon Coleman is a huge problem.
Their succession plan for Stephon Diggs' exit has not been good.
Traylon Burks. I mean, if we're just being real, it's a comparison to AJ to Traylon, Diggs to Coleman. But the other part too, because I would put fault on players when it's necessary. It's got to be hard doing your job when you got a cowboy, no pun intended, like Josh Allen at times too. For as much as he saves you, they've put themselves out of games because his lack of discipline in his play. For as grand of a playmaker that he is, legitimately, Josh has caused some of those problems in Buffalo himself too. The losses and the turnovers and, the bad plays that he had from time to time. That defense has been rebuilt. The offense has been efficient. You got to go kick the tires on. I know I was messing with Bam in our chat about, go get Sean right now. So only Sean that he's getting his combs. But besides,
wow.
I'm on a heater today, okay?
You really are.
Listen, man, it's go mode.
You have an extra cup of coffee?
It's strong this morning, okay?
It clearly is.
With that being said, though, this kind of, in my personal opinion, kind of reshifts the plans of everything in the front office of what the Titans got going on.
Really?
You have to.
Should the Titans delay their process in order to talk to Sean McDermott?
You free today, Sean? Like that's the way I'm feeling about this situation. I know it muddies the waters, but this is what seeking out and doing a thorough investigation to who you want to be your head coach looks like. It does.
Let's put it to another Twitter poll, shall we?
I love this.
At Ramon and Will on Twitter, should the Titans prolong their interview process to interview Sean McDermott?
Yes.
615-737-1045.
It's funny. But I didn't expect. This is a late firing. This is a well above 500 coach on the market.
In a lot of ways, it's a resume that recently has at least been as good as John Harbaugh's.
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of ways, Sean McDermott has kind of steadied the ship in Baltimore to the same level that John Harbaugh has, or in Buffalo, to the same level that John Harbaugh has in Baltimore. They both have quarterbacks that are quote-unquote can't win the big one quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
This time, both of them had an opportunity to succeed in January without Patrick Mahomes in the mix, and neither of them were able to take advantage. So now they're going to have new head coaches next year.
Is this on McDermott, or is this on front office drafting? And again, I would point to Josh. I know he's a league MVP.
Right.
I know he is.
Was last season, yeah.
But being able to box him in, and I don't want to say control, but kind of restrict his freestyling. Because I think we saw Patrick Mahomes be the ultimate freestyler, but there's a lot of structure in his play that Andy Reid was able to get out of it. And I don't think Josh Allen has taken those steps. We've watched him just be the wild cowboy to where he comes back and then he's running down the field and a fumble happens. Those things happened yesterday against good defenses. I think Sean McDermott is a daggone good coach. I do. And I feel like if you are a serious franchise, no matter how late in the process that you are, the best to me, if the NFL is the best league to be in, then you got to go search for the best. And right now, he's the best coach on the market.
615-737-1045. Should the Titans prolong their interview process to speak with now fired Bills head coach Sean McDermott? Adam Schefter adding that Brandon Beane, the general manager in Buffalo, will stick around and will hire the next head coach. Interesting. 615-737-1045. Derek is in Nashville. Hey, Derek.
Morning, Derek.
Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? Morning. Ramon, I got to give it to you, bro. You won one this morning, and I like Eric, but I didn't wake up to choose violence, but he stepped into that. You don't give a damn about Houston. But that's all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.
That's what I'm talking about, Derek. You call back any time with those sentiments, man. Like, you can't feel sorry for the division foe. We not going to live that life. And Eric is an OG, so I always respect him.
Man, I'm really interested in this process now. I have more questions than answers, Ramon.
I mean, we're all
because
there now.
of the speed with which the Titans would need to bring Sean McDermott in.
Mm-hmm.
A, does he want to get right back on the horse and coach again? It's never a foregone conclusion. I would assume so, considering the nature of his firing.
Yeah.
I do think it's telling that he called a local reporter and went on the record about the catch/interception decision. And again, like after his press conference where he defended that whole stuff, then again was like, I'm still watching this and can't understand this. And I saw somebody put out there a minute ago, like it kind of speaks to maybe him knowing he was on the hot seat. How prepared was he for this? How prepared is he to talk about what did and didn't work when things are still so fresh? And you just lost 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Are you ready and willing, and can you get your bearings to immediately jump back into an interview process? Like, how tough would that be, Ramon, for you?
Now,
to immediately say, all right, the body's not even cold yet in Buffalo.
I think to your point, there is some processing emotionally. Yeah, you're right. He just got fired after selling out big time at the podium for Buffalo. Like, if you listen to him, like to your point, it almost felt like he was buying love interest from that city, because any coach knows, man, and he saw that replay, I'm sure, like that was an interception all the way through and through. And as a coach, you can't be into the excuse-making business. Now, the problem that I have is, like, for these type of firings, especially with how it went down, like, his quarterback was on board with it. Teams do go to the franchise quarterback and ask those questions more time than not. And if Josh Allen said, like, that's the same way I feel about Lamar and Harbaugh, too. I think there's more left on the bone for him being a coach and his need and want to be highly sought after. I think in that business, man, as somebody that's been in it, well, I'll be real with you. It detached me emotionally from a lot of things, because there's so much bad that does happen in success. Guys getting cut, guys getting injured, watching families cry because daddy's not playing football anymore, or whatever the case may be. Like, that business hardens you. So, do I think he'll be able to handle the interview process? Yeah. Will he still be in, post, depression state because of what happened? I don't want to use bad words on this one, but yes, he will be.
I think it'd be worth it to bring him in. I do. I like Robert Salah a lot. I'm fine with Matt Nagy. I would certainly be good with Sean McDermott. 98-50. You talk about the proven head coach experience. You talk about culture building, a defensive mind, the ability to maybe still bring in one of these offensive minds that you've interviewed for head coach to be his OC. Is he bringing Joe Brady with him? Is Joe Brady the hire in Buffalo? I certainly think this is where you've got to do your due diligence and do your background.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the connections and the network that the Titans front office goes on the record and talks about.
Mm-hmm.
The Super Bowl rings that they've accumulated, the level of knowledge that they have obtained by just talking to people in buildings. How much have we talked about that, Ramon? Obviously, it's been a major talking point. The background research that you've got to do on coaches is almost equally as important as what that coach actually tells you when he's in your building. What are the people that are willing to go on the record with you about that coach in other buildings saying about that person? their ability to know if Sean McDermott would have interest in this job matters a lot right now. Because if their intel from other people or from his representatives or from Sean himself says, yeah, I have mutual interest, let's talk, that matters.
Oh.
Because if there's mutual interest here, you have to bring him in for a conversation, in my opinion. If you feel like there isn't mutual interest and you feel like Sean McDermott doesn't want to jump back in that quickly here, then you've got to stick with your process and stick with Robert Salah and Matt Nagy. Because now you're taking a risk on Salah, who I think is a high-demand coach, that if you don't move for him today or tomorrow, you're taking a risk that a place like Las Vegas, who tried to hire him last year, might do that.
If I'm Robert Salah and I'm on a plane right now and this news break, I'm punching the back of the seat because this messes up the entire flow. Like, and here's the other point, though, too. Like, I know he's a fired coach right now, Sean McDermott, but you can't tell me that his method of turning Buffalo back, because to be quite honest with you, for a while, Will, that was to the team that I played with, that was a joke, like, schedule. Like, okay, we're going to Buffalo, we're going to win. And he changed that entire mindset and
changed
just
the culture.
Culture, yes, of that entire team. You have to do that. To me, this is a, you don't get this twice in the same coaching cycle.
Bam on YouTube says, you can't hire Nagy after this. You just can't. You definitely can.
Yeah, you can.
You 100% can.
Yes, you can.
It's not a matter of can or can't. It's will they or won't they.
Fighting it, Bam.
Jeremy Fowler on Twitter, how about this perspective on Sean McDermott? John Harbaugh win percentage in Baltimore, 614. A lot of B words right now. Mike Tomlin win percentage in Pittsburgh, 628. Above both of them, Sean McDermott win percentage in Buffalo, 662. He's got a higher winning percentage than Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh.
You know the other
He's
thing?
done it in less seasons, but he's got a better winning percentage. What's the other thing?
Who went under 500 to go get his quarterback, Josh Allen, at some point? It went 6-10 in 2018 and immediately revamped it. Like, he knows what it means to take a young quarterback and get him to that level.
He'll turn 52 in March. Sean McDermott.
Young.
Sean McDermott, as a defensive coordinator, was the DC for Philadelphia in 2009 and 2010. It's, again, Andy Reid connection. Andy Reid also has a connection to Mike Borgonzi, Ramon. So you're talking about Andy Reid coaching tree. Then he was the defensive coordinator in Carolina from 2011 through 2016. Was hired as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills in 2017, where he has been since then. That offense has finished top 9 in the NFL in total yardage every year since 2019. His defense has finished top 2 in the NFL in points allowed 3 times under his leadership, including 2019, 2021, where they led the league in scoring defense, and 2022 when they were second in scoring defense. They were 12th in scoring defense this year.
You know what he also brings too? Man, he also brings the ability to have a wide net when it comes down to him building the staff.
Yeah.
That plays a part. Do you get
I would agree. You could get Brian Daboll back. If you guaranteed me Brian Daboll as OC and Sean McDermott as head coach, all of a sudden that is plan A.
Yeah. Why am I so hyped behind that?
I mean, he's 98-50 as a head coach.
Get his 100th game here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Here's the thing, Ramon, and here's where I think the Titans have a luxury. And some of y'all are not going to like this, but I think it's the reality of the situation. Their opinion of Matt Nagy could give them enough reason to wait around on Sean McDermott. Robert Salah may be in high demand to go elsewhere and get another job. Ramon, I'm not sure Matt Nagy is going to be hired as a head coach by anyone but Mike Borgonzi this cycle. I don't know that. I know he's interviewed at 3 other places, but in terms of second round and in-person interviews, this appears to be the best shot that Matt Nagy has to be head coach. Your belief in him as a plan B might give you enough incentive to wait to talk to Sean McDermott and take the risk that somebody else might get the chance to hire Robert Salah. Fair?
Very fair. I'm with you.
So if you like Nagy, and I think it's clear that they do, then why not wait to go talk to Sean McDermott? To me, it's worth the risk.
Most definitely.
it's worth the risk.
And right now, the movement that we're seeing from Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Miami, Vegas, and Arizona, it doesn't seem to be at a rocket pace. So with your point of this process, call him now. Don't let him leave. Like, bro, I know she just left you, man. Guess what? We got everything you need here.
615-737-1045, our number. Again, the news of the morning. Brandon Beane sticking around, but Sean McDermott fired as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Cannot for the life of me, by the way, understand why you do one of those things and not the other. Because Brandon Beane, I think, is a big part of why that roster is what it is.
Talk about it, Will.
So if you don't like Sean McDermott and what he's done with that roster, I think you got to look at who built the roster too. But just my 2 cents from many miles away from Buffalo. Should the Titans wait on Sean McDermott? Your thoughts, 615-737-1045, and more reaction coming up next. Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone continues in hour number 3 with big breaking news here just about a half hour ago that the Buffalo Bills have fired Sean McDermott. Should the Titans be interested? We both think so. 615-737-1045 for your thoughts. More reporting from Adam Schefter on this, Ramon. He says former Bills head coach Sean McDermott could well emerge as a head coaching candidate for some teams that now have an opening. McDermott told his staff today that he intends to continue coaching. All right. There you go.
All right.
Here's the other thing that I'm interested in with him and the Titans. And he'd have to obviously sign up for it. But Cam Ward does have some Josh Allen in him. In that you have a quarterback whose best moments happen outside the structure of the play that you called. How you relate to a quarterback like that and build around him and set him up to be successful is really valuable. And Sean McDermott has won a lot of football games, albeit not enough postseason games. But he's won a lot of football games with a quarterback who has a similar style of play as the one he just had.
This is also as a professional, you don't make the same mistake twice.
Meaning, sorry, I phrased that wrong. Yeah. The same style of play as Cam Ward in some ways.
Absolutely. I agree with you where the off-script stuff, this is where you try to rein it in sooner. If you do take this job here in Nashville, Tennessee, to coach Cam Ward, and I think the respect that Sean McDermott would bring to the job, especially if he brings somebody in like Brian Daboll, like you have to listen if you're Cam. And I think, to be quite honest with you, that to me is probably the biggest hurdle that whoever gets hired here have to get over, have to like meet at the point is if it's one of the other, Salah or Nagy, who's your OC? Who? You got to give me a strong personality. I think
Brian Daboll.
I think McDermott brings that automatically.
Mm-hmm.
If Brian Daboll went on record to John Harbaugh and said, you want to coach Jackson Dart? Then I think he and Sean McDermott making that conversation a piece here, because that was a report that he called him like, yes, you want to. He called John Harbaugh and said, you want to coach him. Mm-hmm. Well, you get the number one overall pick version of that.
Here's the other thing that could be interesting in all of this. I wonder how surprised the Titans are, Ramon, that this happened.
Who expected it?
Well, but here's the thing, though. If they're really doing their due diligence the way that they've said that they are, and talking to people in buildings around the league since Brian Callahan was let go, is there someone in that building or someone around the AFC East who may have told Dave Ziegler, Reggie McKenzie, who coached in that division for a little bit in Miami, Mike Borgonzi or Chad Brinkert, hey, keep an eye on McDermott? I mean, this may be shocking to us. I can't tell you without a shadow of a doubt it's shocking to them.
That's true.
I don't know. There's a lot we don't know. Connor Orr of SI.com says on Twitter exactly what we just said. He writes, at Connor Orr, I wonder if Sean McDermott, in coming from the Andy Reid tree with an opening in Tennessee, at least gets a phone call from Reid stalwart Mike Borgonzi. That is a connection coming from the Andy Reid coaching tree, Sean McDermott. And you would imagine that Mike Borgonzi is probably well educated and has vetted Sean McDermott just by being around Andy Reid.
Do you, yeah, that's very true.
And being in Kansas City, where Ramon, they've played a lot of big games against Buffalo. Like if there's anyone who's an expert on Buffalo and that roster and what they have done to succeed or fail, it's Mike Borgonzi, who was a part of an organization that constantly came up against Buffalo in the postseason and in the regular season.
The thing that's going to be very detrimental to the Titans' decision makers on this one is there are two white whales that are in on this coaching search. You got to get one. Like
meaning,
as far as like you missed on John Harbaugh, Sean McDermott is next up. Now, as far as the name recognition goes, like I've said, like that plays a part in it. But like this team with where they are, and also how they went about this process of firing the coach. Like the Titans were the first to get rid of somebody. You can't strike out. You got to know what you were wanting. Now that you're presented with a guy like him, like Harbaugh clearly wanted the Giants.
Yeah.
That's the other part, too.
The second he was like him.
Can we just drop that, too, like the Titans missed out on him? Like, I think Harbaugh wanted the Giants.
Right. I don't think there's anything the Titans could have done to keep him from coaching what he has said is a historic franchise that he wanted to represent.
Being the first to fire you got to be one of the big hires this circuit. Because I will say, from a fan perspective, not that they're supposed to care about what the fans think inside of that building, because I don't know how many of them got social media or listen to us or even care. But as far as the optics of what this is, most definitely got to be in line for McDermott. I'm talking about first.
Optics aren't the deciding factor,
not.
but, I mean, it is one of the many elements of the search you've got to be aware of.
That's where I will side with this fan base.
615-737-1045. Do you want Sean McDermott within the Titans process? Dwight is in Kentucky up next.
What's up, Dwight?
Hey, guys. How's it going? So I listen to you guys every morning, but can't really call a whole lot because I'm on the way to work when you guys are talking, so.
All good. Appreciate you jumping in.
Appreciate you jumping in with us today.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, would a coach want to come to the Titans? Because look at that track record. Like, Callahan, it's just no improvements at all. But, like, Vrabel, number one seed in the AFC Championship, Coach of the Year, but then bad free agents and bad drafts and injuries, got a hold of him, so he couldn't dig his way out. And then before him, it was Milwaukee, I think, was in the playoffs and got let go. So do coaches think about that when they look at the Titans about, hey, if I get in a hole, I don't get a chance to dig my way out and, do better. I'm let go if I have a couple bad seasons. Right. And I'll hang up and just listen to you guys. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dwight. Yeah, I think you're always taking that risk in any job you take. And, yes, the Titans have had more turnover than they would like at head coach. And it appears like Mike Vrabel's kind of won the breakup with the way that he's playing, at least for now, and that can always change. Yeah. But, Ramon, I think you can ask the same questions of most of the openings right now, aside from Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and now Buffalo, who are kind of in a league of their own.
I will say this is where we likely had this conversation. Front office alignment got to show off. Like that is a strong conversation if you are deciding to come here. Chad Brinker, Mike Berganzi, Ms. Amy Adams Strong. What are y'all? How secure am I? What can I do here if I go, 6-11? Like, because that's the other part too. Like, there's a build up to getting better also. Like, those are that's a very valid question right there.
Adam Schefter says the 10 NFL head coach changes are the most in a single hiring cycle since there were 10 before the 2022 season. Tied for the most all-time along with the off seasons heading into 1978, 1997, and 2006. So this is the fifth time that there have been 10 NFL head coach changes in one offseason, and it did happen 4 years ago as well. Diana Rossini just put out the name that is the first one to pop up for Buffalo's head coaching position. It's shocking to me. We'll tell you who it is next. Guys, I'm here to tell you that the time to start planning for Valentine's Day gifts is now. I'm here to tell you that it's going to be easy. You just got to go to one place. Brentwood Jewelry. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. Brentwood Jewelry is locally owned. They're family owned. And the second you walk in the door, you can tell. This is a family owned and operated business spanning 3 generations that are deeply rooted in the community. They're going to help you out, understanding the different budgets you're working in, the different options that you have. The stuff that they've got is so nice, and the process is nice as well. It's where I got an engagement ring for my fiance, countless birthday, Valentine's Day gifts as well. They're going to make the process so easy for you. 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road, or you can check them out online as well at BrentwoodJewelry.com. That's Brentwood Jewelry at 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years, and online at BrentwoodJewelry.com.
901, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Major breaking news out of Buffalo this morning as the Bills, per multiple reports, have fired head coach Sean McDermott after 9 seasons, 7 of which were double-digit wins. He had 5 straight AFC East titles, and it's now the 10th opening in the NFL. In the NFL playoffs, Championship Sunday is set. The Patriots back in the AFC Championship for the first time since 2018. They'll face off with the Broncos in Denver, who will be without quarterback Bo Nix due to a fractured ankle on Saturday in their overtime win over the Bills. Backup quarterback Jarrett Stidham will get the start next Sunday. In the NFC Championship, it's an NFC West battle. Rams versus Seahawks in Seattle, the third meeting of the season, with the series tied at 1 apiece. In Titans news, their head coaching search is down to 3 names. Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy interviewing this morning. 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Salah will be in Nashville today for an in-person interview as well. And Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, who will interview in person tomorrow, but is currently a front-runner in Miami as he interviews with them today. Tonight, the College Football Playoff National Championship at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, as the Miami Hurricanes take on the Indiana Hoosiers. Kickoff at 6:30 p.m. Central on ESPN. Indiana is the 8.5-point favorite. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Fourth and final hour of the show on Ramon and Will, off and running. The Bills are firing Sean McDermott after 9 seasons. On Twitter, you can vote in another poll we've got up. Should the Titans prolong their search to talk to him? You all have spoken very confidently about this, as 76% of you say yes, with nearly 300 of you voting already. We asked earlier this morning on Twitter, at Ramon and Will, who your pick was between 2 finalists. Robert Saleh and Matt Nagy. Yes, we know that Jeff Hafley, the Packers DC, is also a finalist. It seems very likely he's going to stick as the Miami Dolphins head coach today. 86% of you would choose Robert Saleh over Matt Nagy.
Boo.
According to our results this morning. Ramon doesn't like that.
Boo.
We had Bam hit us up on Twitter and say he wouldn't go to the games next year.
Yes, he would.
If they
Bam said he ain't doing a lot of stuff. And here we are. You, sir, I ain't picking on you, Bam. This is all fun. You, sir, are a Tennessee Titans fan. You travel from state to state. You got jerseys with your name on the back, okay? You going to these games. You going to peel your eyelids back, Bam, and you going to love whoever they choose.
Yeah.
He ain't going to the games. Yes, you are. Because you're a sicko like us.
8th opening currently in the NFL, with Kevin Stefanski sticking in Atlanta. Of course, John Harbaugh officially announced over the weekend by the Giants. So Sean McDermott has Arizona, Baltimore, Cleveland, Las Vegas, Miami, and Pittsburgh to choose from, in addition, of course, to Tennessee. Ramon, how significant is it that he is an Andy Reid disciple? Considering that Mike Bergonzi's got such a good relationship and long working relationship with Andy Reid?
I think it matters. It does. Just on the relationship side of things. Now, here's the thing. I feel like Sean McDermott's almost, carved out his own pathway kind of moving forward. I just look at he and the Andy Reid situation as if he and Mike Bergonzi were cordial to one another and had communication over the years and, still share the same line of communication. That's cool. That's at least a start to go ahead and just get in front of his agent and almost anybody else at this point. But what I will tell you is this, though, too. The NFL is a fraternity. Everybody knows everybody for the most part, and everybody knows everybody's secrets too. So to me, this is going to boil down to what is the business that you're selling Sean McDermott, because he knows right now he's a platinum like guy right now.
He becomes the top name on the market.
Yes. And the other thing too is why I asked a question like the alignment. If you're calling, let's see, Bam online. If you're calling,
we'll get to it in a minute.
Like him. And you got questions for Sean McDermott, like, can you answer his questions about what he's going to be allowed? Like, it does boil down to
what are you willing to offer?
Yeah, facts.
Easton Freeze was on the show earlier this morning, and again, confidently says they were really willing to offer quite a bit for John Harbaugh. Are you willing to offer Sean McDermott some of the same privileges? I would.
Absolutely.
Sean McDermott has a better winning percentage as a head coach than John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin. Yes, he's done it for less time.
Right.
But a lot of the patience that Pittsburgh and Baltimore gave Harbaugh and Tomlin, the only difference between them and Sean McDermott is his organization wasn't as patient.
Very true. I think this is a premature firing. And I think that might end up biting them more than anything, man. It to me, like I said earlier, I put a little bit more on Josh Allen, and maybe that goes back to Sean McDermott not being able to control him and put the right facilitators around him. But here's the thing they did. Daboll ended up taking another job, found another guy. The offense was still good. The defense handled it on too, while also being in a rebuild. They got a lot of young talent defensively that he's managing, you know? This checks Sean McDermott to me every box when it comes down to what the Titans are looking for.
Diana Rossini, we teased this before the break, says Brian Daboll is a name to watch. Brian Daboll is a name to watch for Buffalo.
You know why that's problematic?
Why is that?
Because she put in there, why Brian Daboll? Because Josh Allen loves him. If Josh Allen was behind this, and here's the thing, we spoke about Ty Dunn. Ty Dunn has, who's on with us last week, has had conversations about that Sean McDermott locker room, Josh Allen dynamic for a while. He's reported on that. If your franchise quarterback is disliking the guy that's helping them win, like that you got to start questioning, because I feel like this is the same thing that C.J. Stroud in Houston has gone through. Like, he was so ready to get rid of Bobby Slowick. Now, C.J. looks like, to me, there hasn't been much progress in his development when the best year that he had was with a coordinator that was growing up with him. Like, you can't allow these immature decisions be made by guys that won't fix themselves first. Like, Josh, you got to fix yourself also.
More reporting this morning and some more minor breaking news. The Chiefs have requested permission to interview Bears running backs coach Eric Bieniemy for their open offensive coordinator position. Again, I don't think Matt Nagy's going back to Kansas City. If you really feel confident that you'd be all right, Matt Nagy landing here, then you should be willing to wait and make sure Sean McDermott is going to tell you no. I think this is interesting as well from Diana Rossini, Ramon. 11 seconds ago, she tweets, Kansas City is expecting Matt Nagy to land a head coaching job, so the wheels have been in motion on Bieniemy for a few weeks.
Oh, wow.
Matt Nagy's second interview is here. Clearly, Kansas City believes Matt Nagy is going to be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Am I making a fair assumption there?
I think it's very fair.
So, again, take it for what it's worth. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but Kansas City is moving in their search for an offensive coordinator with strong belief that Matt Nagy is coming to Nashville.
Does Sean McDermott change this?
We'll see.
I'm going to stoke the fire. Screw it. If that's the case and you got McDermott and you don't explore that, it causes for a fan base, not the team. Well, the players watch this too.
It makes it harder to sell Matt Nagy if you don't at least put out there that you had a phone call with Sean McDermott. And maybe he's not interested. That would surprise me.
He was very surprised.
Considering what this opening is compared to some of the other ones out there. Again, are you willing to take the risk and wait on him? Because he may want to meet with Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
He may want to meet with Baltimore. He may want to meet with Arizona. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Sean McDermott wants to do. I don't think Sean McDermott was ready to be looking for any opportunities this morning.
I think Sean McDermott has messed up everybody's coaching search right now, too, because I thought Baltimore was close to closing in. Miami is supposed to be close to closing in. We had Easton Freeze on earlier, and this is just live reporting with all of this. Easton expects, and I think a lot of people, that the Titans are going to hire somebody in the next 48 hours. All of those plans are scrapped right now.
I agree.
All of them.
I think you have to be willing to prolong this process and wait and take the risk that Sean McDermott might pick this job. And again, the Andy Reid connection. I don't know how much Mike Borgonzi knows Sean McDermott personally, or how much they'd want to work together, or Sean would be encouraged coming here. But Ramon, at 98-50 in 9 seasons, in double-digit winning seasons every year since 2019, I think you are doing your process a disservice if you don't at least try to get him on the phone and get him down here. Or get him on a plane and get him down here. Loaded phone lines, so we'll continue with that. We will talk a little bit about the national championship game tonight because, college football is still going on. But we're talking about Bam in Nashville. We talked about his tweet saying he's not going to games if they hire Matt Nagy, so we will go to Bam first in his opportunity to defend his take to Ramon, who is doubting him. What's up, Bam? Good morning.
Say your piece.
Good morning, fellas. Yeah, I am going to say my piece, buddy. You can try to fire me all morning, buddy. But, yeah, let's do this. I stand on what I said, and I mean what I say. Yeah, bro, you cannot sell me on that dude, bro. You just cannot. And I asked you personally yesterday. Did I not? Did I not reach out to you yesterday?
You sure did.
And say, sell me on. And your response was what, Ramon? What was your response, my brother?
It's flagrant for me to say.
So if you can't, not. That's okay. Look, I can sell you on why you should hire me to play drums for you.
All right, understood.
I can sell you on that.
Yup.
If you cannot, if you were doing a record, I could sell you on why you should hire me to produce. I can give you my resume on that, my brother. You cannot give me 5 reasons on why to bring Matt Nagy here.
I could.
Okay, go ahead.
I could have did it on social media, but I got a show to do it. Here's my thing, though, too, Bam. I'll start with this. Mm-hmm. Y'all trust Mike Borgonzi?
Right now, I don't. With this,
no, it can't be that way, Bam. That's the thing about it. You set your you may set your kids out into the road to drive. They're a little sketchy, but there's growth to be had on the job. That's where I'm starting with when it comes down to why is their interest. And I don't think it's because it's an easy hire. Heck, there are plenty other candidates out there that you can go get. But Bam, the reason I feel a way about it being Nagy is because, one, Vegas has been right about almost every coach getting hired at this point for what that's worth. And that's not worth a whole lot. And then the other side of it is, too, has been the only guy that's been pegged here to Tennessee for a very long time. And then it's the trust aspect of what you're asking, Bam, to these coaches to want to get involved with. I legitimately do look at this situation and say, well, the Titans also got to clean up some stuff. You got to want a coach, too, that has a mindset of handling what this is. Harbaugh not wanting here, and I mentioned it earlier, the Giants have a better side of the defense than what the Titans have right now. There is a lot of players that's got to be involved. So at this point, I'm not saying settle, because if you can go get Sean McDermott, and I'm in on that, too, you go get Sean McDermott, you go get Matt Nagy, because he might be willing to help rebuild this culture and this team, especially if he's more of a facilitator and not a play caller. I think when you're involving yourself in Robert Salah right now, I think you're complicating his job and expecting way too much out of him, who was just fired just a year ago for a team that got the same issues that the Jets have. At least with Matt Nagy, you're putting yourself in a position where I feel like his reach is wider. He understands what this team needs. He understands his failures also in Chicago and has had numerous years to rehash this thing out. I ain't saying it's going to be perfect or sexy. But when you look at who actually wants the job, though, too, and their accomplishment, and he's above 500. Robert Salah is well below 500 when it comes down to his winning. That to me, it could make sense here, Bam. I ain't saying you got to like it, but most times when I look at a situation, either the players hate it or the fans absolutely hate it, it's going to work. But go get Sean McDermott.
If the players hate it, how do you think that's going to be in the locker room?
I don't think we know that, though, Bam.
I'm speculating with the players hating it.
We have no evidence to believe the players would hate Matt Nagy being hired.
I was just speaking on the optics of a situation.
Yeah, you're talking a hypothetical.
Yeah, hypothetical. The entire fan base hates the idea.
But we don't know that they do.
Of Nagy.
Right.
Which is why I think it will work.
Right now, man.
I ain't got his number.
You got Sean.
I'm with you. Go at the Titans and tell them, go get Sean.
Thank you, Bam. We're loaded on the phone line, so we'll keep it moving. But yeah, you
appreciate you, Bam.
You did respond to him yesterday when he asked you can you give me reasons why, and you said nope.
I refuse. Here's reasons.
Yeah,
he's done this head coaching thing before.
Sure, you just laid it out really well.
I've laid him all the way out.
You have. We've given a ton of reasons on Matt Nagy. We've had guests on to talk about it. If you guys want to listen to it, that's up to you. But I know Bam listens, and again, it's not personal towards Bam. We've laid out a ton of reasons on Matt Nagy. He's had time to learn what didn't work in Chicago. When he was in Chicago, He got the most out of Mitch Trubisky, and that quickly declined. He has the tie to Andy Reid and Mike Bergonzi. And if he sees football the same way Mike Bergonzi does, and they speak the same language on football, then that's a check in his favor. He is an offensive mind that has a system that on paper looks really good for your quarterback in Cam Ward. And now he understands that has been accountable for what, again, didn't work in Chicago and will do things differently and hire a better staff. Because last time when he was a head coach, he had only been an OC for 1 year and had no idea who to hire, no idea what he's doing. And Mike Bergonzi gave him mock interviews while he was the OC in Kansas City still. And Bergonzi was in Kansas City, gave him mock interviews to prepare him better for this process. Also, he helped give Mike Bergonzi mock GM interviews. I mean, from what we know, right? So that relationship matters, and I think that is the bullet point that matters the most. That if Mike Bergonzi has vetted Matt Nagy and likes him enough, then we roll with it. Let's see what happens. Loaded phone lines, your thoughts next. 615-737-1045. How does the Titans opening compare to Baltimore and Pittsburgh for Sean McDermott? We'll talk about that next.
What comes to mind when you think of home? Maybe it's the meals around the kitchen table, movie nights on the couch, or the feeling of walking through the door knowing you're safe. Home is where life happens, y'all, and at the center of it is your home's foundation. At USS, they understand how important that foundation is to your life and how much trust it takes when you need help protecting it. Now, January is wet month. We are experiencing it right now, whether it's snow or actual rain. We've already seen it. So when water starts showing up where it doesn't belong in your basement or crawl space, it can quickly become a serious problem. And figuring out where the water is coming from, that can be a nightmare. It can come from poor drainage, small cracks in your foundation walls, or a hidden plumbing leak, man. The team at USS is full of experts, man, that will find out why your basement or crawl space is wet, then create a customized plan to fix it the right way and with a lifetime warranty. At United Structural Systems, they are more than a team of problem solvers. They are your neighbors, all right? And they care about their customers. That's you, man. To learn more about the waterproofing and your foundation, man, you can go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com, or call them at 615-488-7855.
Ramona Will continues at 104.5 The Zone, 615-737-1045. Sean McDermott out after 9 seasons in Buffalo. The Titans reportedly were down to 3 finalists in Packers DC Jeff Hafley to meet with him tomorrow. And Robert Salah, 49ers DC, Matt Nagy, Chiefs OC to meet with them today. Open for your phone calls on whether or not that changes with Sean McDermott coming in the mix. Let's go to Larissa in Nashville up first. What's up, Larissa?
Morning, Larissa.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy MLK Day. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I would say, yes, this completely changes everything. The coaching carousel has gotten quite interesting and a little heated, and this is so fun. Sitting on the other side of it, they should absolutely speak to Sean McDermott. All hands on deck, planes, trains, automobiles, get some pigeons, throw some messages in a bottle. They should go after everyone that's available. And his record speaks for itself. But whoever they get, it's going to be better. No disrespect to those who were let go. And, this is also going to be able to show the fans who really wants to be the coach of the Titans. Now, do you want to coach or do you want to coach the Titans? Because they're not hungry. These guys got generational wealth. It's not about the dough. It's about who wants to coach the Titans. But I'm just going to throw this in real quickly, and I know it's not going to happen, but what if? And I'm so glad. Tomlin's resetting. He's living his best life, counting his money. But what if Tomlin decided after these few days, and again, the likelihood is 0 to none, if he changed his mind, do you think the Titans would drop whomever and be like, yeah, we're going for him. Thank you for playing. But I love this, and I think every fan should be excited because whomever the Titans decide, it's going to be better. It's going to be a good season, folks. Just keep the faith.
Thank you, Larissa.
Appreciate it, Larissa.
I do not think that's possible on Tomlin, even if he did decide he wanted to coach this year, because you would have to trade for him.
That's the only
He's
caveat.
under contract, Larissa, until the end of the 2027 season, and I don't see the Titans wanting to do that.
That's very true.
Yep. Let's go next to Mike in Cleveland. What's up, Mike? Good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Thank you, sir. Proceed.
So, man, I think premature by the Bills to go ahead and fire McDermott. You remember I called in, I said people was talking about he could be on the hot seat, so didn't know it was that hot, though. But, Titans definitely got to talk to him. I'm a sucker for history, and a lot of people might not know or might not remember going back to the Oilers and obviously the Titans. We got a rich history with the Buffalo Bills, so for history's sake, I think it'd be dope if he became the head coach of the Titans. But, man, also the other thing I wanted to say was the hiring of Stefanski kind of made it like, just like, we got to hurry up and find a coach. We got to hurry up and find a coach.
Yeah.
Man, let's just take our time and find a guy who wants to be here. I'm at peace with it. If it's Nagy, it's Nagy. Moan, you always say winning cures all.
Yes,
so
it does.
whoever they pick, as long as they want to be here and they start to win, everybody who's complaining and no Nagy, we going to protest, watch how quick they turn around. So let's just go win and let's tighten up, baby. That's it. Toast.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm talking about a round of applause for Big Mike.
Reasonable.
Yes.
Reasonable. Again, Easton Freeze had reported this morning that he expected a new Titans coach to be announced within the next 36 to 48 hours at most. Very fascinated to see if that changes with Sean McDermott becoming available. Ramon, how do you compare this opening to the now 3 that are going to be considered probably in a league of their own? Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore. Who's the best job out of those 3?
The best job out of those 3, I got to go with one of the 2 league MVPs. I think it's probably Baltimore, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Titans.
I think any order you want to put Baltimore and Buffalo,
yeah.
You can make a valid argument on either side. I think they're pretty much the same job.
Pittsburgh got quarterback issues.
Yes.
And roster age issues.
Yeah. I think Pittsburgh is the job that it is because of the stability coaches have always had.
Perfect.
Not because of the roster situation you're walking into.
There's a rebuild that's going to happen in Pittsburgh. I know Mr. Rooney said they're not into rebuilding, but into competing. He's supposed to.
You've got to be into rebuilding. But you're saying all the right things by still selling tickets and being competitive in press conferences. But they're smart football people over there. They know what they need to do.
No doubt about it. I think they should go younger with whoever they hire. I think it was McCarthy has been a front runner for that job.
Yes, there appears to be strong interest there with Mike McCarthy, who's a Pittsburgh guy, and Brian Flores reportedly is getting an in-person interview.
I think Flores is the hire because it fits the right age and it also fits what Pittsburgh is. Defense.
It makes a ton of sense.
It does.
Ton of sense.
They're going to go against the grain with the NFL, though, too. That's going to be interesting.
The good news for the Titans is that this has become a really loaded group of coaching candidates. The bad news for the Titans is if they hire Matt Nagy, it becomes harder to sell him as the hire in a pool of really good coaching candidates. Should that matter? In a word, no. If you are Mike Borgonzi and you really like Matt Nagy, hire him. The fact that public perception is going to be negative on it, the fact that it becomes harder to sell the hire because of the coaches that became available and because of the very public pursuit you had of John Harbaugh, should not matter one iota.
Yeah.
If you think Matt Nagy is the best coach for the Titans, hire him. If you think Sean McDermott is the best coach for the Titans, prolong the process, go and get him. If you finally meet with Robert Salah today and you think he's the best coach, go for it. This is not a situation where public perception needs to sway Mike Borgonzi one centimeter towards any direction. That's just my 2 cents.
That's a fact.
If you love him, go get him. No matter who him is. I know it's going to be harder to sell Matt Nagy if Sean McDermott's out there. Okay, who cares? Win.
Stand by your man.
Figure it out. Yeah.
That's probably the best.
The job
thing.
doesn't end when you hire a coach. The job starts.
That's so real.
This is not some finality of just, all right, well, I guess we stink now. There's also no guarantee that if you hire Sean McDermott, you're automatically fixed either. Even if this team had brought in John Harbaugh, there was the job begins when you make the hire. It doesn't just end. You don't just set it and forget it. Let's go to Joey in Cross Plains up next. Good morning, Joey.
Morning, Joey.
What's up, Ramon? Will. So I'm going to go down a little bit of a path like Mike did. I'm a big history guy. So if you go back to the history of the Titans since they've been here, they've had their best seasons when they've had a defensive-minded head coach. So that's why I either want Salah or put everything on hold and go talk to McDermott to fill him out if he wants to come here. Because if you hire Matt Nagy as your head coach, you're going to be looking for a new head coach in 3 years because of the way the history lines up with it, or the past history of the Titans. It's always the defensive-minded head coach that gives us the winning seasons and into the playoffs.
Yeah, thank you, Joey. I appreciate the call, and I certainly get where you're coming from, and I understand that. I mean, I get it. I'm born and raised in this fan base and market as well, but Ramon, I don't know if the history really matters.
I don't either. I don't, because I feel like this team is such at the drawing board, ground zero.
Yeah,
that Joey, to your point you made before you took Joey's call, the right coach, being on this job is what matters the most.
For sure.
I don't think going with a rah-rah guy is going to change anything, because if we can just be real about the situation just quick, I think depending on what happens in free agency, now that can change a lot. But this team is very young with the guys that contributed last year, this past 2025 season. And then you're hoping on also getting more young, talented guys in the draft. They're still, to your point, and that's the best point of it all with this coaching search. The job starts when you walk inside the building. And if it's offense or defense, Joey, and anybody else that's listening, you kind of almost just got to believe what they're faced with. Here's what I do know. We spoke about this a little bit. Maybe it's a longer conversation, Will, to be had. We talked last night, and I said that the thing that the Titans have to recognize is with each and every coach that's come through and each and every GM as of late, you can't trick the locker room anymore. You either got to go find a guy that this group is ready to follow and be led by, or do this repeat thing. So if it's Sean McDermott, Matt Nagy, Robert Salah, Jesse Minter, or whoever else, like the restructure and rebuilding of this team's got to be number one. And I think it's also best, too, Will, to like temper your expectations a little bit. Like, you want to be to a point to where we're speaking about, like, respectfully, I bring this up, the Pittsburgh job. Like, will you have time to grow? That, I don't know what next year is going to do for Ben Johnson, the Chicago Bears. But, like, that expectation is right timing, right quarterback, right talent, right play.
Yeah.
And the Vrabel situation is the exact same thing in New England.
Right.
Everything has to align.
Commenter on YouTube says, what offensive head coach has done well here? Can you tell me for certain that the offensive head coaches that have been here failed because they were offensive head coaches, or maybe they just weren't good head coaches? I can't tell you at all to Titan Scott on YouTube that any of them failed because they were offensive minds. They just weren't good head coaches.
Wow.
Doesn't have to be offense or defense for this hire right now.
No, it doesn't. Sean McVay is a real good offensive coach. Andy Reid is. I mean, again, what you're looking for and searching for, Will, is a good team. Like, that's it. I think the Seattle Seahawks is a real good offensive team. They just so happen to have some dogs on defense, too. And they got a kick returner that set the world on fire the other night with his kick return. Like, to me, the biggest issue ain't the actual coaches. It's the drafting and retaining of talent.
Not only has Brandon Beane, the general manager of the Bills, kept his job, Ramon, he got promoted.
No, he did.
Statement for the Bills just now. Brandon Beane will now serve as president of football operations and general manager moving forward.
Because, yeah.
That's bold strategy, Buffalo. Let's see how it plays out for you. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I would have fired the guy. You promoted him. Just my 2 cents. Bruce is in South Sumner up next. What's up, Bruce?
What's up, Bruce?
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Morning.
Good to talk to you this morning.
Yes, sir. You
and
too.
Before I get started, I just want you to know, and the whole chat family, how much you all mean to this old man, and the information that you give us is really awesome.
Thank you, Bruce.
And Ramon, most of you know I take a little of that brown water in my coffee a lot of mornings.
Hey.
And
nothing wrong with that, Bruce.
I'm very clear-minded right now, though. The bass boat's in the garage, so I'm pretty clear-minded.
Here we go.
Guys, I've been invested in this team, me and my wife, for 26 years now. PSL holders. We're, with my oldest son, we're going to be PSL holders in the new stadium. And I just want them to get it right. I just want them to get it right. I could rant and rave about it, and I've done that. After church yesterday, we was all watching the game at one of my son's houses, and looking in the mirror, as a team looks in the mirror, you just have to say, I got to get something right, and it needs to start now. So when Bruce and his wife or his family drive down 386 to hit 65 to come in and see the stadium as we come under the Fern Street Bridge, we have a real hope of winning a football game on a consistent basis. That, as someone who's invested in this, I'm to that point now. Now, if we're going to talk violence, which I'm not going to do because I'd have to have a lot more brown water right now than
you and me both, Bruce.
But the fact of the matter is, I just want the Titans to get this right. And my wife's a Texas gal. I married a girl from Wichita Falls, Texas, and she lived in. Her parents are still in Fort Worth, and we have followed this team a long time. And I just hope that whoever makes the decision, and I think we all pretty much know who those heads are going to be, that they get it right.
Yeah.
Irregardless.
Absolutely.
Of who it is.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, guys.
Bruce.
Yep.
And Ramon, thank you for representing Sumner County in the way you do. We really appreciate you up here in the community.
Yes, sir. Old simple Sumner, humble Hendersonville,
Thank
baby.
you, Bruce. We appreciate you calling.
And just great Gallatin.
You mean a lot to us as well, the fact that you'd listen and call in.
Talking about just prosperous Portland. All of them.
I am sad that we had 3 pages of stuff on the national championship game tonight, and we have used none of it.
None of it.
How much of it can we stuff into the final segment of the show?
Does it matter?
Find out. Coming up next. What's up? Will Bowling here from my friends at Brentwood Hearing Center. Maybe over the holiday season, you or a family member learned they can't hear as well as they used to. Maybe you're thinking of yourself. Maybe your mind is going back to all those comments you got from kids, from grandkids, from cousins, uncles, aunts, telling you, hey, maybe you should get this checked out. Brentwood Hearing Center has got the very best technology on the market. They've got technology that's going to help you hear where there's background noise. Maybe you've been at that crowded restaurant. That's where it pops up for you. You can't hear the conversation in front of you, but you're hearing the one in the booth behind you. Brentwood Hearing Center can help with that. BrentwoodHearingCenter.com is where you go online to learn more about them. 615-377-0420. The best thing about Brentwood Hearing Center, they understand there's no cookie-cutter approach to better hearing. You're not just going to get the technology out of the box. They're going to make sure it's the right technology for your specific needs. Give them a call, 615-377-0420, or check them out online at BrentwoodHearingCenter.com. That's Brentwood Hearing Center. Better hearing, better life. Ramona will wrap it up the show with much more to come today. We started the day thinking the Titans might hire a head coach this afternoon, maybe tomorrow at the latest. Now, who knows? It remains to be seen how the Sean McDermott firing in Buffalo will impact the Titans head coach search as we get out of here and hand it over to the Buck Rising Show coming up here in 15 minutes. We have 3 pages of stuff for the national championship game, Ramon. How much of it can we get in here in the final 13 minutes?
We got a little time. We can make it happen.
How confident are you Indiana's chances of winning tonight?
How confident am I?
Yep.
I'm about 65% confident that they're going to win the game tonight.
6 straight favorites have both won and covered in the college football playoff national championship game. Clemson in 2017 was the last underdog to win the Natty as a 5.5-point underdog. Mm-hmm. And they pantsed Alabama.
They did. Absolutely. I'm just going off of what they've shown us. Like, the one thing that I think that throws Indiana off is Miami can match the run game. They can Fletcher you to death, the young freshman running back that they have. They got the trenches to handle it. They've done it. They went on the road to State College and with Texas A&M and absolutely just ran down their throat, and they did not get away from it. They can protect Carson Beck. They can play defense and get after the quarterback, too, although I will say Ruben Bain Jr. needs a big-time game if he wants to solidify himself as a top-5 pick. Because here's the thing. Indiana also have an offensive line that can keep him at bay. Watching what happened in that last game against, what was it, Ole Miss? Like, he was obsolete. There was no noise made of him. The other edge rusher, too, on the other side, what's his name?
Akeem Messidor.
Messidor, yes. Akeem Messidor went out. I wonder what his health is like going into this game also.
Healthy.
He is healthy. Why did he get carted off? He pulled a Paul Pierce. I thought, who was it that went down in that game? I thought it was Messidor. Either way.
He had an elbow injury, I think.
And he got carted off?
Yeah, no. He was just questionable, but he's playing now.
All right, well, never mind that. They got athletes at Miami. This is going to have to be a very disciplined, unemotional game for a team like Indiana, but I'm picking Indiana to win.
Yeah, so I think it's a really interesting matchup. The thing about Fernando Mendoza is in the postseason, he has not really handled pressure very well. He's just really never under pressure, though, at the same time. Fernando Mendoza is 31 of 36. He has more touchdowns than incompletions in the college football playoff. Here's where I think he's got a little bit of a weakness. His sacks to pressure ratio is 31%. If you get pressure on him, you can get him down. Yeah. The national average is 18%, Ramon. So he is below average in escaping pressure and not taking hits. Now, part of that might be by design and saying, their strategy as an offense is, you know what, we'd rather you just not take a chance than put the ball in harm's way by getting rid of it as you're getting hit. So I think that's number one. The matchup between the Indiana offensive line that has a wealth of experience against Messidor and Bain is fascinating. 26% pressure rate allowed, according to Bill Connolly of ESPN. It's 11th nationally by Indiana this season. Miami's defensive front, Bain and Messidor, have combined for 32 TFLs, 19 run stops, 19 sacks from 123 pressures. Those two are everywhere.
They're a menace.
I think the other part of it is Miami's good at DB, and some of that was forced upon them with an injury that put Ethan O'Connor in the mix. Ethan O'Connor's had a really good playoffs in what he's been able to do in the defensive backfield for Miami. Indiana's receivers and their ability, though, to win those 50-50 balls has been really meaningful for them. Elijah Surratt, Omar Cooper, and Nashville's Charlie Becker, Charlie B from Nashville, Tennessee, as Gus Johnson says. Those guys are winning one-on-ones. It's not 50-50s. They're 70-30s. So their ability to beat Miami defensive backs in one-on-ones is critical. I think for me, Ramon, it comes down to first and second down rushing success for Indiana in this entire game. The Hoosiers are 10th nationally in rushing success rate. But according to Bill Connolly, Indiana is number 1 in rushing success rate on standard downs, meaning on first down, 2nd and 7 or less, and 3rd/4th and 4 or less.
They're eating.
Indiana is the best running team in the country. Miami is uniquely positioned to force them into 3rd and longs because of the way they can create negative plays in their defensive line. They have got to be able to do that consistently and win the 50-50 matchups in the secondary as well.
No doubt. But whose quarterback do you trust?
Mendoza. Next question.
Exactly. And that's where you got to kind of, to me, Carson's been fine this year. He's been good. He's made the plays.
And the postseason has been great.
It has been. He's used his legs as well, too.
He is.
So it's going to be fascinating to watch him operate in the big stage. This is a home game for Miami. Can they handle it more than anything when you look at it, too? But again, the one thing that's kind of just oversold me on the head coaches, their systems are just what they are. I love Mario Cristobal, too, and what he's able to do as a head coach. His mindset is there through his team. He's an offensive lineman at Spirit. That's his spirit. But then you look at the other side as far as Kurt Signetti goes. He don't care about what you've done. And I think that is, well, they might die out there the way this game is kind of set up, man. Like, not literally, like, when I say that, but, like, this is a matchup, dog, where the first team that submit might not happen until the clock hits 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is beautiful.
I think the other challenge for Miami is they cannot – their game script of winning this game requires them to be in it in the first half. They cannot get down early and make this a Carson Beck's got to throw it game. Because that's where I worry about Miami tonight, Ramon, is they're so one-dimensional in the way they move the ball. Indiana in the playoff has gained 20-plus yards on 9.5% of their snaps. Miami has gained 20-plus yards on 2.5% of their snaps. That's not their MO. This is a really good defensive backfield for Indiana. D'Angelo Pons, go Dukes, JMU, shout out. And their other corner on the other side do a really good job in sitting on those short routes. They have allowed a 64% completion rate on passes 10 or fewer yards downfield. Jamari Sharp and D'Angelo Pons. Miami has to hit a couple of explosives in the run game and the pass game to give themselves a chance. I'm not sure they do that. I think Indiana wins. I think Miami covers. I do think it's a good game. I think it's maybe one where Indiana gets up by a couple scores and Miami gets a late score to make it a little tighter. Honestly, similar to what Ohio State did to Notre Dame last year.
I wouldn't bet it. Too close. Too close. Who you got, though?
I got Miami. It's my third pick of against the spread. I've got Miami, but I've got Indiana by 6 or 7. Notice I did not. I put the word "or" in there to avoid being trendy.
You did. I'm picking Indiana money line.
Yeah, I've got Miami to cover the spread. You know, the last time Miami was an 8.5-point underdog?
When's that?
02.
In the championship? 02. They won.
There you go.
Why did I know that?
Well, we'll see.
Ball knower.
We will hopefully be able to talk a lot more about that game tomorrow morning. The Titans might hire a head coach today, and they're very much closing in on things. We'll see how Sean McDermott affects that. Either way, you got to be locked in on the Zone today.
You do.
Buck Reising Show, cover 2 with Blaine and Zach, and of course 3HL. It is a day you got to be locked in on your radio and Zone TV. And until tomorrow morning,
we'll appreciate y'all, man. And we have no sympathy for your enemies, baby.
None whatsoever.
But your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot, baby.